Blah, blah, blah. Hey, the bird flew the coop. The bird flew the coop. What a way to start in. Coming in and out, in and out, in and out with the logo. Hey, everybody. Dad Man Walking 55 here on a surprise chill stream this morning, which is more probably therapeutic than it is necessarily just chilling and hanging out. Uh, just, oh my gosh. Hey, you know what? It's been an interesting couple days in the world of communication and high financing and all this other stuff. And just been really aggravating in some ways. But hey, what do? You try to communicate with your friends, good old friends, especially around the world since we're a global community now, and then you can't talk to them. So, hey, that happens. So, guess what? We had the thing that is known as StreamYard. What a lovely tool device. So, you know what? What do? You say, hey, to your buddy across the world, 14 hours ahead, wake him up at the middle of the night and say, hey, let's jump on a live stream together. And who better to fill in than the great, the one, the incredible, the outspoken Hungry Boy. Hey, Hungry Boy.
Outspoken. Oh, that's the code word for tonight, isn't it? Oh,
yes. God. We're kind of toe that line between outspoken and censor, that kind of responsible type thing. But look, if it was completely unfiltered, oh my God, you talk about rampaging the village. Now, we will not be merciful on the village. No. That will be, the streets will flow with the blood of the non-believers, according to Beavis or Butthead. One of them said, it was in one of the episodes that's like, I think it was Butthead. There was something happening. The blood will flow with the streets will flow with the blood of the non-believers. Well, that will be the village. So, my friend Hungry Boy, it's good to talk to you today because I could not have talked. Well, I jumped on a stream with you overnight Friday night, but then even last night I could not talk to you for a little while. But how are you today?
Tweety has gone mad. I don't know if it's Elon. I don't know if it's anybody else. I don't know if it's like the blue hairs rising in a rebellion against
hairs rising. Oh my God!
I mean, I used to get like about 10 DMs and about 50 notifications every 24 hours. And for the past 24 hours, I've got almost nothing. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's happening. I've heard some people conjecture about what is happening. But the fact of the matter is, they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But then there's the alternative statement. If it is broke, fix it. And for the past 36 hours, Tweety's been, for me, I can say, a little bit broken. A little bit broken. I don't know why that's happening. I don't care why it's happening. I just want to talk to my pals. I just want to be able to have DMs with you and DMs with other people that I talk with in the YouTubosphere and the comic sphere and all the other spheres. I just want to be able to say, hey, Mrs. Dadman's got a great voice on YouTube. And damn, she does. Damn, she does. And I said that in private before other people were saying that. They're like, oh, yeah, I like hearing Mrs. Dadman. And it's gonna be wonderful hearing her get a little spicy and a little salty when we take a little woodshed to M. Night Shyamalan Bing Bong. So that's gonna be fun.
Yes, I know. Yes, we're looking forward to that. Very, let's say August 11th, I think. Let me turn around the calendar. Yeah, I've stopped everything I was doing because I was working. I was having to deal with a credit card thing today. I still got to do it on a couple platforms. I get the Mrs. My stuff for August and stuff, and it was like, screw it, It's like I said, Hungry Boy, you want to go? Yeah, let's go.
Yep. Yeah, and part of that, and we were talking about that for full transparency.
Yes.
Behind the scenes and in DMs is one of the things that I get really sick of is people taking preference for people above the Mason-Dixon line or below the Mason-Dixon line, where if you've got good people who like good things and they enjoy good food, they enjoy good movies, they enjoy good television, etc. I mean,
Hmm.
why draw that line? Why draw that line? Why have a problem with anybody? I mean,
Hmm.
and we have the same thing in Australia, which I'll talk about later, but not now. But when people actually make a comment to you in the comment section, when you drop a comment
Hmm.
on YouTube videos, etc.
Hmm.
Like I don't like people below the Mason-Dixon line. Well, you know what? I've had great friends who come from North Carolina. I've had great friends who come from Georgia. I've got great friends who come from East Texas. I got
Hmm.
great friends who come from Florida. I got great friends who come from Louisiana. And if they're being good to you and they're being good to everyone you know, what the hell is the problem?
Yeah, I tell you, because I'm one of those people. I may not know what the technical words are. I might not be able to do Wall Street terminology and
Right.
or cultural high class words and stuff. But I do understand a lot of the concepts and points and stuff. And yeah, bear with me. I might not say the words in the fancified language and stuff, but you know what? I do know it.
That's
I do
my
fucking
job.
appreciate it. And
That's my job on your show. I use the fancified language. That's my job. It's okay. I'll
it's
cover for
okay. I've come up with that word years ago. My wife, Mrs. looked at me like fancified. I'm like, yeah, call it fancified.
it. I love her. God, you
I
chose
cre-
well.
I
You
know.
chose well.
She is the class and all of the operation and knows how to do this, but even I can't leave her speechless. So, because I'm just dad, man.
You
So,
and you promised me. You promised me in good Southern man fashion. You
uh,
will share every compliment I give to her on this stream. Okay.
I do. I have already. What do you think the ding was coming back? So, she's busy. She's got a lot. We've been fighting pictures for the last night and morning trying to get pictures of the trip from my phone to her phone. But let me say real quick hello to
Yep.
Masters Maniac Mexico. Good morning, sir. And good morning, Hungry
MMM.
Boy. Let's look what the cat dragged in.
MMM. We love you, MMM. We love
Yes.
you.
Well, the cat apparently dragged a broken little Tweety bird. So anyway, so
Oh
that
dear.
yes,
Oh
it's
dear.
dude. It's like I'm trying to figure out how I could get 500. Period. And I know, like I said, on Friday there were things going on that did a lot, but then it was also. But yesterday, that's what I didn't understand. Like late last night during the Trek show,
Hmm.
I got cut off again. And there are some people that I don't want. I ended up having to kind of communicate in a chat, which I do not like doing,
Yeah, I
but
know. I
but
know.
it because I don't like sidetracking it, and but
Yeah.
you know I had no way to let somebody else know. So, but it it happens. That's why I tell you what I don't want to go to Discord. I know Discord has its own security things and stuff like that, but we have a mutual friend of the channel and
Yes,
other
we
channels
do.
that is really good with that I definitely will look up if I decide to do that. I did put him on notice. I said it may
Well,
be it may be happening.
well, we actually have two mutual friends because the gentleman who I
Hmm.
adore to death, that you're talking about, is also very good friends with Snail Messiah, who I call the Mighty Mollusk,
Oh, okay.
and
Mighty
and
Mollusk.
the Mighty Mollusk, Snail Messiah is the
I've heard
Mighty.
of Mr. Beside, but I've never met him.
Oh, he's fantastic. We had a good, me and Emerald Teague and him had a good long conversation.
Mm.
And that was actually on Rumble. That was the first and only time I was on Rumble. I'm like, I'm kind of scared about being here. But you know
Hey,
what?
that's a good Southern accent. That's a good Southern accent, Hunger Boy. You'll be one of us below the Mason Dixon line. We don't appreciate good art. Sorry.
No, you do.
We just dumb
No,
poor
you do.
Southerners.
I mean, I'll be honest. It's like when people from America come and they're a little bit fussy, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean as a Southerner, a little bit fussy. They
Yeah.
come to Australia and they don't like people above a certain line. Well, we're below the equator, so our south is north, right?
Uh
So
huh.
like Queensland, which is northern Australia, that's like combining Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, all this stuff. And the farther you go north in Australia, that's where the accent starts getting slow. right? And
Yep.
you know what I
Yep.
mean. But
Yep.
the thing is, they're good people. They're good
Yep.
people. But
Yeah.
sometimes they're just too honest for other people to deal with.
Well, that's the problem too. People just want to be hospitable and honest and whatever, and then people they bitch and moan and complain about nobody does this and they don't treat your brother fine, but then they don't know how to act when somebody's really genuinely just, they treat you like family the minute you walk up to them and see them, and
Right. Right. And the Queenslanders will do that. So Queenslanders, I mean, it's a big state, dude. It's a
Yeah.
big state. It's like 1/6 of our entire continent. Okay. But the thing is, you don't bring the blue hair shit to Queensland. Okay. You know what I mean?
Right. So your north is the southern. Okay. All right. So that's what say. I'm going to try to pull up a map of Australia. How about that? Let's do that while we're here, because we don't have anything to do. We're taking passive aggressive shots against the birds out there. So
Yeah.
we're
But
we're
we're
just
also
going
going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Clash of the Titans and Ray Harryhausen.
Oh hell yeah, we will definitely. I know, great.
Hell
Yeah, we're gonna multitask. We're gonna do this damn thing right. I mean, we got 3 people here already. Hey, tweet it out, everybody. This is a weird time for me. Hopefully, you hit your notifications. Bring it in. Get 4 people off the street. Drunks, dogs, neighbors, cats. I don't care. 4 more will be at 350. So we'll make the YouTube gods happy. All right.
Oh, dude. I just got to say this before we go on. Even though I'm an Aussie boy with an American accent, there's one song that always gets to me. Eastbound down, loaded up and trucking.
We're gonna do what they say can't be done. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. God, I love that song. Damn, you know what I want to do? I want to put my face through a fucking wall when I hear that song. It's like I want to kick ass, go to war, and everything. And that's one of the songs that gets me jacked up, and I'm ready to fight. And hello, the birds decided that they wanted to like cut us off at times. The Squeaker Mouse, Squeaker, hey, my friend, welcome.
We love Squeaker.
No, you're not one of the birds. You're the rodent people. You're the people we look out for. So. No, but hey, great to have you with us today, Squeaker. But hey, oh my gosh, I've already got Hungry Boy laughing his ass off, and that's awesome. Hey, hello to Sita. Hello, Sita.
See, that's another thing. Okay, this is another correlation between Australians and Americans, and like northern Aussies and Southern Americans. Okay, you can feel free to laugh when you come from down home country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feel free to laugh.
Exactly. You know Y'all laugh out there. Hey, if you haven't, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subbed to the channel, sub. This truly is an impromptu stream because I got aggravated not being able to talk to my friends across the world in DMs. I don't want to tweet everything publicly, and I never got the notification that they were going to limit it because I was busy with important stuff and all. And it was like all of a sudden, thankfully, I was able to notify people of important news and stuff. But it was like, hey, this is what we do here. Half the time, it's just like, Mrs. Dadman says, go entertain yourself. And I come in here, hit StreamYards. And it's even better when I got somebody like Hungry Boy here. And I can make him really laugh when I come up with that Southern accent for him. But, dude, come on, give us your Southern accent again.
Oh God! Oh, I mean, I don't even know how I did it. It's accidental. See, when I do a good accent, it's because I respect a good actor or a good performer, and I emulate them. It's not like a political or cultural thing, but oh, dude. Oh, so many people from the South have been so many good actors in television and film. And they changed their accent. I fucking love it. Pardon me for swearing.
Oh, you're okay. We're 18 plus. You can do that here. It's after 10 anyway where you are, so it's all good.
And I mean, when they get there, I mean, there was just this guy who, his nickname when we were friends with him was Big Daddy Bubba.
Oh, okay. Now that says a Southern name. Big Daddy Bubba.
Big Daddy Bubba. And Bubba would say, okay, son. All right. You understand gumbo, but I'm going to introduce you to jambalaya.
Jambalaya. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, well, if you can somehow do it along the way, feel free to break out the Southern accent. It will not be taken with disrespect. You've lived around over here before, and you know what? You have a good heart for the Southern accent. So, and that's what counts, you know.
Well,
Exactly.
Big Daddy Bubba was big. Okay, he was big. He was a chunky man, but he was a loving man, and he was a loving man, and he really respected the comic books and the sci-fi and everything like that. And he said, the one way you got to understand genre is you got to understand food.
See, I think you just did it right there. I think you just did that right there. You worked it in naturally. See, the problem is I can't. The biggest thing is I got a British friend that is like he can do a good Southern. It's a little kind of comic-y Southern, but oh dear God, I cannot do a British accent. It's so bad. He cringes. He's like, Mrs. Like, dear God, stop! You're insulting people. It is so bad. It is so bad. You're insulting people. And I took 4 years of Spanish, but I could never get the phonetic. I don't know. I have trouble speaking English as it is.
I hear you. I hear you. And to back you up, when you have, and I have no problem with Gary Neurotic at all, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when he tries to do an Australian accent to make fun of Shad, it's like, no, bro, stop.
Well, that's the missus. That's the missus. Like when I start clapping, like with music, she grabs my hand and physically restrains me. Stop.
You chose well. What a wonderful marriage.
Like, stop. You're showing your whiteness. It's like you have no rhythm. It's like, stop. But I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
Oh my God.
Go to church. Start clapping with the music. Stop.
Oh
gosh, jeez.
Oh God. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. And I hope Mrs. is gonna laugh at this, okay? See, like as an Irish Catholic, we're not allowed to clap with any of the songs.
Right.
We're not allowed to do that shit. I mean, we gotta
we're Southern and Baptist, so you gotta clap or do something,
That's what I love about the Baptist thing. I've been to a Baptist revival on occasion, believe it or not. And I'm sitting there going, why the hell did we not pick up on this? This is the right idea. This is getting people involved. This is getting people emotionally centered in the moment. Yeah. This is what works. And, we as Irish Catholics, we're sitting on hard wooden pews. We're having to kneel down on hardwood. I mean, how are we supposed to concentrate on the faith? Give me a break. Let's improve the system, Elon Musk.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we got people laughing out there already. This is the beauty of these chill chats like this. This is we just come up with. We didn't have an agenda. This is the right turn we took just right off the bat, right off the show, and kind of like the Miss and I with our detours. Squirrel, we're going after it.
And I'm sorry to shell for you, but my God, those Yellowstone videos.
Sita is, I guess, from Sweden. Oh, all right.
Excellent. Now that's interesting. So, would that make it Sita or Keitha? How would that be pronounced in Swedish? Keitha.
I'm not.
I would be interested to know because I like these details, which is why I was a favorite artist of several comic book writers who are favorites of Clobby and Gary as well. Mm-hmm. Although, to be perfectly honest, Clobby's older and age does give a certain perspective. So Clobby does know a lot more about comic books than Gary does, although Gary knows a lot about comic books. And that's not dissing.
Right.
Gary,
it's not.
That's showing respect to age.
Mm-hmm. Which we did meet Clobby. He was really cool. He's even cooler in person than then what you see is what you get. Is
I
really
am
great guy to
so
admit.
envious. I am so envious. I would just love to give him a bro hug, and I would love to make him some chili. And I know how he likes his chili.
Yep.
Okay, he doesn't like having any vegetables in his chili. That's okay.
Oh, okay. It's not a Swedish name. It's parts of my four Spanish names. LOL. Sita. So
Sita. Sita.
yep.
Oh, I
Sita.
love that. Oh, that's a
All
good
right.
pronunciation. I like
Yeah.
that.
And
Sita.
I know in Hungry Boy, Hungry likes to do things respectfully and understand that to do it. Because I mean, even with the Zuni doll, I know we joke a lot, but there's certain aspects of that you still respect the culture when you talk about it and
Oh
things. So
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I am a big fan of the Zuni culture and a big fan of numerous Native American,
Hmm.
or if they want to call themselves First American cultures, or indigenous, whatever they want to say, that's
Hmm.
fine. I'm there with that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I was engaged with that stuff back in the 80s, and I had a kid from a reservation, who was
Hmm.
14 years old. He came to a signing of mine
Hmm.
for a comic book character, and he said, "This character meant so much to me. I just want you to know that I saved up my money. I had about $50. I needed about $40 to get the Greyhound bus to come and see you today. And I don't know if I can afford it, but I'd love to buy some of your original art." And I had the original art all lined up on the table from the stuff I was doing from one of the big two companies. And a lot of it was like priced at $200, and that's in like 1992 dollars. Okay, so that's a lot of money compared to today. And he said he was just looking at one of these pages. He was looking at one of these pages, and I could see the hunger in his eyes, the hunger in his eyes. And I said, "You
Hmm.
want that page, don't you, kid?" He said, "Yeah, but I can't afford it." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you that page for free. I'm going to give you $20, and you promise me you don't use that $20 to do anything but go home and keep that page safe and appreciate it. We got a deal. We got a deal." And he had to, like, tears in his eyes. I said, "Don't you start crying. You are a teenager who came to me for this signing. Don't you start that. You respect your ancestors, you respect the people you come from, and the page is yours if you give me the agreement." And he just shook my hand. I said, "The page is yours, and here's $20, and you go home and you be safe. You be safe, and don't let
Hmm.
anyone mess with you along the way."
Yes, exactly. I remember you talked. This is the first time you've been able to expound on it. I know you've told me about that before, but yeah, you guys. Hey, I put the two links out there for it. I did want to come at Old English is highly overrated. Stole it from the Germans. I, hmm, I'm not sure. Can you enlighten me? But we'll come back to that. But see, this is the trilogy of terror show that I did. The link to that with Hungry
Yes.
Boy,
Oh,
and
that
if
was
you
a joy. A
in the
joy.
great Killer Clowns episode with Hungry Boy, which was off the chain too.
Oh,
That
oh, oh,
yeah.
but the thing is, excuse me while I open a libation, because it is 1:37 a.m. in the morning here and I'm entitled.
Yes,
Okay,
there you
so
go.
welcome
Hey,
to the Mason Dixon line.
it's the late night. It's the late night show, but we're observing Australian time. Good day, mate. Did I do it that okay? Is that
But I mean, the thing is, Karen Black actually has a lot of German, which is the proper pronunciation of German, German,
hmm
in her background, and she made Trilogy of Terror sing. I mean, without her, that film would have been nothing, nothing,
hmm
absolutely nothing. So we respect good actresses. We respect good female performers. We respect good female screenwriters and sci-fi writers, just like people who created some of the best stuff for the original TOS 1960s
right.
Star Trek. We respect the original wife of George Lucas, who was his editor and made that movie sing. So we respect women here. So anyone who says, I'm going to be a bit of a bitch here. I'm sorry. Anyone who
Oh,
says, people below the Mason-Dixon line don't respect women, screw you.
yeah,
You don't know.
yeah.
You don't know. People below the Mason-Dixon line respect women, and people above the Queensland line in Australia, they respect women too.
Yeah. And we know our art. We may not be able to articulate in your fancified terms, but we get the point of it, It's like,
Fancified. I'm not fancified. I'm gonna have to wear that as a coat for the
yeah,
next 5 years.
I need to trademark that one. Fancified. The
I,
first time I said fancified though to the missus, she's like looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Fancified? It's like, yeah, I created my own word. Why
I'm,
not?
I'm gonna give you credit and put up on Twitter a hashtag called fancified.
This new DM system sure is fancified. Make sure you put the italic southern accent emphasized. Because then the elites can know it's come from some hillbilly down south.
No, I don't like the word hillbilly. I don't like that. I met Appalachian people. One of the best people I ever met was from North Carolina.
Oh, I know, no. I mean, if we're going to sit here and put people down, you might as well go for the full effect. But I got you. Some of the greatest, sweetest people, though. It's like you said. Like we'll talk about the Harryhausen and we'll talk about Clash of Titans and stuff.
I know.
A lot of us appreciate the good stuff. We just may not necessarily know the right words or the terms.
No. You don't have to apologize, bro. You don't have to apologize. Yeah. It's just like when I hear bluegrass music, I hear the souls of people talking through their instruments and their vocals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that goes back to mutual cultural origins between Australia and the United States, because y'all got a lot of Scottish and Irish in your background, a lot. And Australia got a lot of Scottish and Irish, and even New Zealand got a lot of Scottish and Irish. I mean, you look at the woman who gave us Xena, the warrior princess. I mean, basically DNA 80% Scottish, and a lot of Scottish people, they went to. This is why you got such a big horse culture, a lot of big equine culture in New Zealand. You got a huge amount of Scottish immigrants. And in Australia, we got a lot of Scottish, we got a lot of Irish, but also we have, and I don't have a lot of this in my blood, but we have a lot of German, all right, Germans. And that is why in South Australia, you have the brilliant wine culture, particularly the white wine culture.
Yes.
And
give me 1 second before you expound on that. So because I want to. I'm putting this link out in a couple other chats, and I want to bring up the map. I got a map to bring up, so let me bring up the map.
I'm done.
Oh no, I wanted to show the area though. Who were you talking to? So this is what happens when I multitask. I am slow, but hey, I need to get 6 monitors in, I think. So,
and also, I would like to commend the chat, particularly Masters Maniac Mexico. You were bringing up very good points, and
we will get to
as an Aussie, I'm really loving what you're bringing up. I have seen you in streams. I've interacted with you in chat, and you are a wonderful person. And thank you for being here.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. He's been great, and all y'all are great too. But hey, thank you for that. So here we got a map of Australia. Hey, I'm multitasking. I'm becoming multimedia. Of course, to me, this is multimedia, and then my wife would shake her head like that's not multimedia.
You see that pink bit at the top? You see that pink bit?
The Northern Territory.
Oh, the NT. We call it the NT.
Ah, the NT. Yes.
Oh God. Okay, so that's where my best friend in real life comes from.
Oh, cool.
And he's the Australian version of a below the Mason-Dixon line bar. Okay, and I mean, he is a great guy. I mean, he plays the organ. He he's into prog rock. He's into sci-fi. We're gonna be doing some stuff together. But he's like, I ain't never going back there. You know, I ain't
Can you
never
hold
going
on?
back.
Can you hold on 1 second? Some
Sure.
dingbat came by, rang the doorbell. So let
Dingbat.
me
I
make
love
sure the missus got it.
menu log. Menu log. Uber Eats. So somebody decided to do a delivery to Dad Man that he wasn't prepared for. This is great. I love that. We got to be funny, people. We got to be funny.
Jeez,
And,
sorry.
oh,
It was actually a friend of mine, the missus.
oh, that's okay. That's fine. I was just
But I
making a
used the word
joke when you
dingbat
were
to say,
talking.
"Good morning, buddy Hepburn.
Hey, buddy.
Good to
Hey,
see you,
buddy.
buddy. Hey, Ding Dong's here. Hey,
Hey,
Stunning and
Stunning
Brave.
Brave.
We got a
Stunning and
party."
Brave. And Caesar said, I used to watch
Yeah.
Xena before Hercules in the weekends and yeah. I mean, I mean, I like the shows. I will admit, I hope you will excuse me and pardon me, Caesar, but I am a mythology pedant. I am a pedant on mythology and anthropology. So I had a big problem with how they handled the Greek mythos, and when they started to parasitically use the Irish and Celtic mythos. I had a problem with that, but I love the shows overall. I love the shows overall. Now, this is nothing
Wait,
compared to how.
so wait. Let's explore that just a second. So they actually took the show, started bringing other cultures' mythologies into what would have been normally a Greek mythology.
Yes, and now that was fair, I have to say, because we agreed before we came on here we're going to be positive tonight for the most part, right?
Yes,
We agreed
yes,
on that.
exactly.
Now I have to give them credit, and I know a whole bunch of other channels just like being negative on shit, but I can't do that, right? If
Right. No,
something is
we don't.
fair,
Yeah.
if somebody does something right, I got to give them credit. I got to do that, right?
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
so the thing is, with ancient Greek culture, where these myths come from, there was a lot of interaction with other cultures. So the Greeks did interact with the Gaelics, which and people need to remember that the Gaelics and the Celtics are separate. So like Welsh is Celtic, although it had intermarriage with the Gaelic, but Gaelic is very specific. So with Gaelic, you're looking at the Irish and the Scottish and a little bit of the Cornish. Okay, so if the Greeks interacted with these people, which they did according to all appropriate historical knowledge, then they do need to be in the show. But that means you need to show them respectfully in the show. That means you need to actually be a little bit accurate in the show. And there wasn't room. I'm giving all credit to Raimi, etc. At the time. There wasn't really room for that to happen when the show was happening. It's just like this show called Roar, which is supposed to be Irish pagan from the Bronze Age. Okay, look, the Irish did not live in a desert. The reason that show happened and it looked the way it did was because you needed to film it in a place that was cheap to film. But Ireland, back in the Bronze Age, back before we had real steel, we were only working with iron mixed with bronze for swords and weapons, etc. The situation was it was a verdant, lush, green. The only reason all the trees in Ireland went away was because they were taken over by England at a certain point, and all the trees had to be cut down to make English ships
Hmm.
for the fleet of England during the time of Queen Elizabeth. That is why you have so few Irish trees now, but it used to be a forest country.
Oh,
It used to
really?
be a forest country. And so I love, I mean, I dig
Hmm.
stuff like Xena, and I dig stuff like the spin-offs from Xena, and I dig anything that Sam Raimi does Okay, I love Raimi. I'm a big Raimi fan, huge Raimi fan. But the fact of the matter is, I have to separate my purist, my pedant, my I've read this crap in library stuff
Mhm.
from enjoying the show. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. It kind of a little bit of a suspension of disbelief,
Yeah.
uh, that so that you
Well, like one of
get.
our favorite shows, The Wild Wild West. Okay, we got to leave some shit aside, don't we?
Yeah, I know, but oh dear God. Well, hey, that could be another movie to have some uh, sarcastic fun with the movie version of Wild
Oh
Wild
God, the
West.
movie. I was talking about the TV show, the movie. Oh my God, don't get me started on
I
the
Yeah, that's
movie.
what I was saying. The TV show I think was well respected, a good TV show from what I heard. I've not seen it, but yeah, it's yeah, the movie. I could just see. I can hear your voice already. But before I go further, the great Admiral Teague is here. Hello, Admiral Teague.
Ah! Hello, Tegas. Hello,
Yeah.
Tegas. Oh my
And,
God.
I don't usually like shout outs and stuff like that and things, but see, Masters is promoting a great mod on this channel, the great Studying of Brave Megatron, and I like this. Thank you for shouting,
Mm.
studying out. He is, if you haven't watched his drawing, sub to his channel. Yes, Studying does some great drawing streams, and yesterday he did one of the Batman, the Robins. Uh, I keep wanting to say Tim Clark or Tim Cook. That those are not the right names, but
Yeah.
it's one of the Stunning. Which version of the, if you're still there, which version of the Robinsons you did? I don't. It might have been the Teen Titan version, and I don't remember what the character's name. The Yeah, it was not Dick Grayson, but it was one of the others. So, but
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
Stunning.
these days, let's be honest, we
Third,
can't be talking.
Tim Drake, the third
Yeah,
Robin.
we can't really talk about Robin right now, considering what DC has done to him. If you know what
We're
I
not, we're going to focus on Stunning and the third Tim Drake. How about that? That's what we do. I love the sarcasm. Roll, Britannia rolls the waves. Not okay. Hey, yes, and the more I study World War II, the more I understand how their navy got kind of decimated in World War II. Pretty cool, it's
mean?
the U.S. became a definite power. Actually, I learned new respect for the Italian Navy about World War II, at least early on. So, but see, that's another diatribe. Do you do much with history?
It depends on the history. I will be honest. I do stuff with history, but generally it is history that is Neolithic or
Mm-hmm.
Bronze Age or Iron Age. So I
Mm-hmm.
generally go about 1,500 years ago, and that's the stuff I focus on because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a comic book guy. Okay, I like
Well,
Savage Sword of Conan.
and you have to specialize at some point or have more interest because you can't study everything in detail
Right.
forever,
Right.
and it all varies. See, like I'm a World War II or U.S. Civil War guy,
Right.
that type of thing.
And I understand that. I mean, the one time I studied World War One is because there was a magnificent horror film that is very specialized called Dead Watch, this goes into Conan because the
Mm-hmm.
new Conan stuff is probably going to be done by the person who made Dead Watch. And they studied, I'll be respectful, they changed their gender, but I don't have a problem with that if someone who changes their gender is not an asshole. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the thing that they did was that they studied the history of World War One, and to do a World War One horror film, metaphysical, supernatural horror film, and get it right
Mm-hmm.
when I had relatives who died in that war,
Mm-hmm.
that is very hard to do, and that shows respect.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody shows respect, I don't care how they call themselves, I don't care what they put in their Twitter bio, I don't care. If somebody is respectful, I'm going to be respectful back to them.
Right. Yeah, I know. My granddad served in the Marines. I remember talking to him growing up, and he was in Guadalcanal, and you
Mm.
know, and if you know anything about Guadalcanal, it was a shithole. I mean, it was
Dude.
very touch and dice there, and it was very bad. He was actually in the Seabees with that, and then
Oh, the Seabees.
he was at Seabees, and then the Marines. And I remember him talking about Vandergrift in the First Marine Division and stuff like that. And but I also know that apparently after he told me some stories that my grandmother told my mother that he would have flashbacks. So it's things like that that and I do have a regret that I did not write some stuff down or get it recorded.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
I hear you.
Hungry Boy says hi to you, Mrs.
Hello.
You had the best voice on
I'm so
YouTube.
glad to hear
I
you.
doubt that, but thank you. I will accept the compliment.
Oh, you have such a wonderful voice and you have such a wonderful manner, and I love every way that your mind works.
Exactly. I know. Hey, she's the brain. Like I said, comes up with so many of these ideas. It's really, really cool. With my granddad, what was cool though was he did tell me stuff like, back then he actually back, in the 20s, you had depression, all this stuff. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
he actually served in the old horse cavalry when they had the cavalry was not tanks, it was horses.
Yes. That's very important to Australians because we are a horse culture.
Yes.
We are a horse culture. Oh my God, that is very important.
Well, let me catch up with the chat for a little bit, but yeah, so those are the Civil War and we got more of that stuff. So hopefully y'all like to see the battlefields because we got a couple new battlefields on Tuesday. I'm gonna have to break out and create some. I've got to force myself to make time for Civil War battlefield things and talk about the sites because we're not going to have enough time to hit them in detail coming up in the road trip streams, but we're going to hit a few this week. So be sure to be here Monday and Tuesday night with us for that. Stunning said the real Tim Drake, not the new crap or the abomination, is Damian Wayne. I'm not. You might be more familiar with that name. Okay, Masters is trying to stoke the fires. Hungry. Can feel some vibes here. Let's raise the fire. Darth Maul, Will Smith, Kathleen Turner.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. I do.
Admiral Teague reminds us that the Allies sank the entire French fleet at Mirs al Katan to prevent its use by Germany. Absolutely. Yeah, the Vichy French government. Yeah, that's. There's history. There's so much vibrancy to history, and so many things that repeat.
Wonderful chat you have here. I mean, CISA is bringing up something very prominent here.
Is this the one right here?
Yeah.
A friend from Chile was part of Erasmus when she came here, and a fish as fished directly is delicious here. Common with that outside the city, especially shrimps. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I know it is. The chat's on fire today. Exactly. So
and also, bringing up what you were bringing up with the military history in your family, it's very equivalent to what my family went with the South Pacific War in World War II. Very, very. I mean, I lost. My family lost 3 brothers of my nana, 3 brothers, and one of which, well, we won't go into the ugliness of it, but it was suspected that he was cannibalized due to what the Japanese were doing then. Now, that is probably likely. We don't know if it is 100% likely, but I remember my grandfather saying, okay, you love gun toys. And you said that you want more gun toys for this Christmas, but I will explain to you what a gun does to a man. And then you can decide if you still want that toy.
Right.
And he explained to me what he had to do in the New Guinea bamboo.
Ooh. Give me a second. Let me show this real quick here. If you look here, what Hungry Boy's saying with Australia, we're going in a different angle with this map. And we're getting a little somber and serious here, folks, but this is what we do too, especially when we talk history.
We'll switch back.
Yeah, but notice up at the top, there's Darwin.
Yeah.
Darwin was bombed by the Japanese in World War II. There was a raid up there, but you see, I need to pull another map up from this real quick. I wanted you just give me 1 second, Hungry Boy, because I want to get
No problem.
I want to get a map to help illustrate the proximity of Australia to those islands there.
And also the size of Australia. Like most Americans don't understand that Australia is 3/4 the size of the United States. We're a big island continent. We are an honest continent. We are an honest nation. We're not just a fucking island, okay? We're big.
I'm sorry. I just had to. No, you're okay with the language. But it was just that. It just was that. I just like that. Okay, I'm trying to find a map. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the right map to pull up that gets it. Trying to, dad man multitasking here is always a dangerous thing. But go ahead. Sorry. Let's see. I think I might have found one. And now, if it'll come up large enough, that's the biggest. All right, here we go. That's what she said. Anyway.
That's what she said. Oh, God. Don't sound like ass, for God's sake. Not at this hour.
I don't know. After what Tweet did, why should I censor anything? But hey, anyway, just kidding. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. The chat's going on out there. Yeah, and Master said he had a bunch of First World War family items there. Have a signed portrait of the Kaiser. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And if you don't know this about Masters, he's been open about this. He's a German, but he lives in Mexico because his wife's from there. Yeah. Now, Admiral Tigas is Australia as big as Alaska?
Okay, Admiral. Okay, Admiral is doing this wonderful New York thing that he knows I love, or he's busting my balls. And I love that. Okay, so he knows I love Fran Drescher. He knows I love the Bronx and Queens and Brooklyn. So he's totally busting my balls. And I would say that Australia is bigger than Alaska because we got better food here.
Well, I got a guy, Alaska Jeff, that's come on a few shows, and it's like it'd be interesting to see that whole conversation transpire between Alaska and Hawaii. Not Alaska and Hawaii. Alaska and Australia.
Alaska.
I can't even.
That's a good hashtag. Alaska.
Exactly, but hey. Sita says that I'll be visiting Estonia next week with the second job. They have a unique museum with that kind of collection, referring to the World War I stuff. That's awesome. Admiral, take to the Black Heart. Fair enough. All right. So, okay. All righty.
He knows what I mean. He knows I like the tough chicks with the big black hair and the booty. He knows what I'm talking about.
I know he does.
Southern women are just as sexy. Okay. Mm-hmm. You just got to avoid this idea that certain people in geographical areas are less sexy than other people. Avoid that idea. I mean, oh my God, some of the Southern women I've met, nearly tempted me out of a committed relationship, if you know what I mean, but I couldn't do it. No. But I was close, dude. I
know. All right. Well, we're going to get back to the story because we're going to get a little serious here because I know you were talking about and stuff like that. But and you know more about this because you live down there. But it's down towards Guadalcanal. But bring this up here because what you were talking about, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, is this island that's right up here.
Yeah.
And really, the report Moresby was considered a very vital point. And the Japanese were trying to capture it. Well, if you know anything about the island itself, the terrain is impassable in spots. Owen Stanley Mountains and things, you can't get through there. And I think the Japanese really were trying to move down over land, but found out that they couldn't. So they ended up trying to come through down around with an invasion fleet. But, that's where we had the Battle of the Coral Sea, where the Lexington was sunk, and that part of the invasion operations was was halted there. But you can see the proximity between where Australia resides right to where the heart of the action was right there.
Right.
And if you want to continue on with where you are, I wanted to give people perspective of that. But also I wanted to show them this also. This is really the thing, the whole area in a way. There's the western side of Papua New Guinea. You can see how it's mountainous in the north.
Yes.
But this is the western side. But then you have more Java. You have Malaysia over here. All these islands go together. My favorite is it called Celebes or Celeb? The one that looks like the angelfish.
I don't have any relatives from that area or people who were there, so I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, it was integral. And there's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about regarding WW2, which was integral. So in Australia, we learn about things in high school and middle school that people in America don't learn about in school. And there were so many areas in the map that you're showing that were integral to Australia being safe. And I'm only going to use that word, safe. I'm not going to explain it. I don't need to.
Right.
When my grandfather served, he was an army man who had to serve with Navy people to teach them how to use the big guns, meaning the cannons on the ship, because this was primarily a naval arena versus an army arena, on feet, boots on the ground arena.
Right.
So
can I throw in right there real quick?
Yes.
Because what Hungry Boy's saying is it truly was naval. All this, the bulk, the Battle of the Java Sea that happened over to the west was an area where the Allied combined Dutch, Australian, U.S. destroyers, cruisers were just obliterated early in, I think, 42, and basically there was no Allied Navy left down in here because it was really sunk. But all the to get anywhere, as you can see from these islands, you had to have transports, but not just that, you had to have your warships. But as we find as the war goes along, you need to have air cover because surface ships were vulnerable to air attack, which is a big advancement in the war. But I wanted to, because you'll also see through in here in these islands here. Let me bounce back over here. Like I said, up over here to the east of Papua New Guinea is, and I don't have it here, it's the Coral Sea, which is, the Coral Sea comes from up here, from down here, but goes up into that area near between Guadalcanal, which is in the Solomon Islands, which are just east of Papua New Guinea. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I was trying to illustrate that part of it.
I would honestly, it's like you talking to Mrs. Dadman, when you say, I'd rather hear you speak, to her. I'm that way with you. And I'm a guest on this show, but I like hearing you speak.
Well, thanks. I didn't want to cut your story off, but I wanted to help people understand, like you were saying, the Navy grandfather had to teach the Army guys because a lot of these guys were not used to shooting this equipment off of ships at this point. Anti-aircraft guns, a lot of this technology was new. The naval firepower had evolved over the years.
Well, this is where my grandfather lost his hearing, and it was terrible, and I don't want to go into personal stuff with it because it affected his life. Because nobody understood. Nobody understood. I mean, we had not developed the ear cans, meaning the actual headsets that could protect you from the acoustics, the sounds of the cannons going on. Nobody understood that. And my grandfather had to have someone like suck out an infection from his ear, which drew out his eardrum. So he permanently lost the hearing in one ear because of this lack of understanding of the technology that was being used. But for all the people that actually say, oh my God, I hate military. Oh my God, I hate war. This had to be done. These inactions, these military inactions had to be done so we can have the lifestyle that we have right now. And Admiral Teague knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's talked about this himself with his father numerous times. And
Mhm.
so I don't want to hear anybody talking bad about veterans in any situation. But if they want to talk about something in a genteel manner regarding any war, I will be willing to listen to that. But if they're like a tiki-taki-tardian, no, 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 not willing to do that.
Mhm.
And my grandfather lost a lot, and we lost 5 members of our family in that
Mhm.
war. And they did what they had to do. And my grandfather explained to me what it was like having to shoot a guy in the forehead who was trying to shoot him in the forehead. And
Mhm.
he understood immediately, it's a choice of me or him. But more importantly, he recognized in this other guy's face, this guy was a father too. And it was a choice of my family goes on without a father or his family goes on without a father. And sometimes you have to make those decisions. You
Mhm.
must make those decisions. And anyone who is not willing to make those decisions is not going to be a good father or a good husband. And I'm sorry for saying that, but I think it's true.
Um, Admiral Teague asked about when George H. Bush was shot down. George Bush was shot down. He was a Avenger torpedo bomber pilot. It was September 2nd, 1944. It was actually, they were attacking the island of Chichijima.
Mm.
I believe it might be up in the Philippine Sea. I'm not sure. I was having trouble finding exactly with it, but it looked like it was a bombing mission later in the war in 1944. Not where Coral, the Coral Sea or Iron Bottom Sound were, but he was later in the war.
Dad, man, did I go too far there a
No,
moment
you're.
ago?
It's up to you. You're fine. But hey, you know,
I just
you're good.
mean I will always I will always show respect to veterans. Always.
Exactly. Well, you know what? It is something, and it needs to be there because especially life experiences and things like that, the loss that you've had and you suffered, and you do get passionate about it. There's no, it shapes who we are and it shapes those that come after us. And you're, I mean, no, I mean, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. And my guests are allowed to say what they want to say here. And, what you feel like sharing is up to you, and
Well,
I mean,
I just want everyone who comes from a veteran
yeah,
family to feel that they're okay with me. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think they will be. I think they understand it because they understand the sacrifice, especially if you lost people in it. See, like I said, you, my granddad, hearing his stories, hearing what he told me and stuff, how they dealt with things. And there are stories I can tell you offline because I don't know if people want to hear some
I
of the
get
stories
I get
because
it.
it's like
I get it.
it was a matter of survival. We're talking about an enemy in any war, period. Okay,
I get it.
it
I get
doesn't
it.
have to be this one particular war because I think sometimes people focused on one thing and whatever. But when you're in that situation, it's a fight for survival. You do what you have to do to live, to move on. If it's not you, it's the other guy.
Well,
And
100%. And
yeah,
looking at what Admiral Teague has
and
just
then they
laid.
have to live with it. And here's the other thing, and they have to live with it. We don't.
Well, that,
We are just told
that's
about it, but you know,
there is that, and this is going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to use this comment to move into more positive geek stuff.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
like Ray Harryhausen. But
Yes.
with what yeah, we got to move on to that. But with what
Yeah.
Admiral Teague said, I got people who served in Nam too.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've had to see what happened to their legs when they stepped on the claymore, and the legs were barely recovered. Um, and I get it.
Yep.
I get it. I
Well,
really do.
I tell you, like I said, it not even as I mean, my granddad World War II. I mean, so it just It's there. Fortunately, he came back. And there's the lucky ones, but he didn't have his hearing. All
Yeah.
things like that, and the things that live for last lifetime. So, but that's also why when you see when I go to these battlefields too, I try to be very respectful for doing it.
You are. You
Even
are.
even
You
when it's the
really are.
monuments and things, I love the monuments because they do tell a story. They do represent things. But you are walking where people died. You are walking where there was a lot of stuff that was going on, and it just yeah, and I think that that's the thing is that I think somebody like you, especially with personal experiences, really
Yeah.
take it seriously because so many nowadays. A lot of times you've seen it on Tweety Bird and
Uh-huh.
Facebook and everything where people act like these are just tourist spots. And I'm
Oh my
talking,
God.
and
I hate
you calm down, calm down. I'll calm you down on this one, Hungry, a little bit.
Be a
But
southerner. Be a southerner.
I'll calm you down. But
Give me some biscuits and gravy. Give
sweet
me some
tea. Here's
biscuits and
some
gravy.
sweet tea. Here's some nonstop sweet tea. But
Sweet tea.
but it is horrifying to look at what I mean. I mean, especially some of the World War IIs in Europe. And I'm going to stop there. We don't need to go further with it, but you know what I mean. If you're a student of history, a lot of things that happen in certain places up there, and you see these pictures, and it's like, folks, this is not a tourist stop. It's a memorial.
Yeah.
It's a memorial to remind us of what evil is and what had happened.
Yes.
So that we hopefully never do it again. You know,
And there are
and
always
that's
two sides. There are always two
yeah,
sides, and you got to look at why both sides were going into it. And
yeah,
that's why I don't like people. I'm sorry to say this. I don't like people who always say south of the Mason Dixon line are always wrong. That's not right. That's not fair. You have to look at where people were coming from, and you have to look at stuff that came later on, like, and you'll understand this, and
yes.
Mrs. Deadman will understand this, the
Mm-hmm.
term carpetbaggers.
Hungry. We're going to have a Civil War show with you on it then. That's going to be another damn different stream. Probably get you and see if I could get our friend Lorena to come on because she loves using that word too. Oh, good carpetbaggers everywhere. But hey, yes, that now you're gonna get my blood boiling. Go Hungry. We're still
No, I
dealing
don't
with
want
those.
to do that.
We're
I
still
want to
within
get
it. We're
happy.
still dealing with them damn carpetbaggers even today. Like, damn, my state's getting overrun. They're chopping all the trees down and all this other stuff. Don't bring in politics. And I don't talk politics on this channel. Just
I
like,
know.
just you stay up there. I want my trees here. And I'm not an environmentalist.
I hear
I like
you.
my trees, but I don't want to cut everything down and have to go take 30 minutes to drive. It used to be 5 minutes because, anyway, that's a dad man rant. But I got to stop there for a second. I can get back on it because we've got some great, bright, beautiful people that have just come in. We got 11 people. Make sure you like. If you haven't subbed yet, please. And yeah, see that. Remember, yes, we have a time and a place and a time to be active, time to take it easy. But hello, Anti-Derivative Jill. Hello. And on top of that, we got Penny who just got out of church and headed home listening. Thank you, both of y'all.
I love Penny.
Happy Sunday. We started off to come off making fun of the Tweety birds, and we've derailed really quickly into all kinds of stuff. Serious stuff, fun stuff. You've ranted, I've ranted, so
well, let's get into where the soul comes from, like soul food. Okay, the soul comes from.
And let me touch with this Admiral Teague. And Admiral Teague, there are a lot of people that truly feel that way, and there's a lot of merit to it. But then again, that's a one that we have to dedicate a whole stream for. It's for another time.
Yeah, that's a whole nother bit of
business. That's a whole nother bit. We're still trying to bitch and complain about. Sorry, Penny. I should have been there anyway. But yeah, it's we're still trying to mock the Mockingbird Tweeties out there, and we're derailing ourselves from that. But we're having a blast and a lot of fun. It's 2:17 over there now.
You got it exactly. You got it exactly.
14 hours. There you go. 14.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, so exactly. But hey, thanks everybody for coming in and hanging with us and stuff like that too. So, Masters said this. We'll hit this real quick because Master said, let's see, he did learn a lot about the Australian military culture during time in Queensland. as my exchange dad was a Vietnam War veteran, I used to spend a lot of time in the RSL
Right.
clubs. So, oh, look here. He says, I actually have a boxing kangaroos patch here in his hands. Thanks again for. Is that.
No, that's a big joke in Australia. Boxing kangaroo.
Can
That's
you
a big
explain
joke.
that?
Okay.
I mean, I find it fascinating. So, I mean, so go ahead.
The thing about kangaroos is during a certain time in the reproductive cycle, shall we say,
Okay.
um, the males will fight. The males will fight, and they will actually bop each other using their
Mhm.
upper arms. But it can get a lot uglier than that. So the whole thing about boxing kangaroos goes back to the 1800s, where you would actually have kangaroos imported from Australia to the United States in carnivals, fighting people in the boxing ring. And sometimes they would kick the human ass. They would kick the human ass.
Well, good.
And it was hilarious. It's hilarious. But it's a bit of a sore point. It's a bit of a sore point with us in Australia because it's a cliche,
Okay.
and it is a.
It's kind of like the south of the Mason Dixon line thing. I got you now. Thank you for feeling free to provide context, because I like to at least know what I'm laughing at, so I know what not to laugh at.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Well,
let's go
Jill
to
said
Jill.
she's seen pictures of extremely buff kangaroos who actually work out.
They're really buff, Jill. They're really buff. They're really buff. But the thing is, for Jill, and Jill loves this stuff, okay? Because, Jill and I got a connection regarding
Exactly.
sci-fi and anthropology and
Yeah.
paleontology. The thing is, Jill, if you ever want to know the most deadly fucking creature in Australia that is still extant, EXTANT, extant in Australia, it is the cassowary, which is basically a Deinonychus. It's basically a fucking Deinonychus. And the claws on the feet of its lower legs can take out the metal of any modern car. Take out the metal. Now,
Wow.
imagine what that does to humans. Imagine what that does. And they're beautiful. I mean, they're gorgeous. The colors, oh my God, the colors and the texture of their feathers and everything, but they will come at you. And you do not fuck with a cassowary and anti-derivative
I've
Jill.
seen
They
those
should.
I've seen those in the zoo, I think.
Oh,
Cassowary?
they make emus look like pussies. I hate to swear, but
That's okay.
you laughed. I made you laugh. But yeah, your birds sound scary. They are scary, Jill. Jill, look up cassowary. Google cassowary attack. Google cassowary attack. You'll see what
Wow.
I'm talking about. I mean, it
Alrighty.
is like Jurassic Park, but
Yeah.
it's alive here.
It's awesome. Like she said, your birds sound scary. Yes, I didn't realize that. And one more with the Civil War here. Admiral Teague said, and that's a famous quote. I think we should destroy the flags. You should never fly them again. Lee also said, it is well that war is so terrible, so that we don't grow fond of it. So, yeah, it was. Everything was interesting, and there's a lot to the Civil War. I'm hoping, if I cannot have time on a Tuesday night, we found a really great Civil War artillery. Like at our Vicksburg, we showed a bunch of the types of cannons that they had there. We actually have each gunner in a Civil War battery. Actually, you had guns. Each one was a gun. Usually, the Southern units they were formed in batteries. Southern units were usually 4 guns in a battery. Union were 6 in a battery. And it's interesting because they used to do them. They were all independent on the Southern side, but the Union eventually, and I have to look at the general that took command that actually said, we're going to organize them into like groups and stuff. So, but basically 8 men on a crew, and they all had a certain position. They all had a job. and things like that. So I'm hoping to show that a little bit Tuesday night, if not go into a special with it with a lot more detail. So
I apologize for laughing, but
Yeah.
Cece is messing with me in a beautiful way.
yes.
In a beautiful way, and I appreciate it. She's messing with
Hey,
me.
hungry. You know, wombats and mini kangaroos are cute. But guess what is even cuter?
Hello.
I know the VTuber she's talking about, but he,
Yeah.
the thing is, as an Australian, I am technically British, and
I
he's
know.
a fucking Yorkie.
I
That's the
know.
British term. He's a fucking Yorkie, okay? And the
I got you.
Yorkies are messed up. I love him, but the Yorkies are messed up. And I used to make him. This is going back like 2 years ago. I said, "Oh, I can see you using the cigarette jokes, but you're a Yorkie, so you smoke like 12 cigarettes in a day. Can you do that again?" And he would put like 5, 6, 7 cigarettes in his mouth.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I got that out of Az a couple of times, and I was laughing my ass off. I was laughing because I used to be a hard smoker. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I quit
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Well,
But I mean, I used to be a hard smoker, and
I
I'm
gotcha.
ashamed of it. I'm
Well,
ashamed
hey.
of it.
Hey, hungry. Guess who we got with us?
Wallabies, Jill.
No,
She knew the word
she's-
wallabies. Yes,
Well,
yes,
but
yes.
look who joined us on the panel.
Mrs. Sandman. Oh my
Yes.
God, I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Hello.
I love you, baby. I love you.
Oh, I just kind of dropped in to say hello and ask how everyone was. I'm busy working on the shows for tomorrow and Tuesday and the week after. So trying to get ahead, but I never do. Seems the more work I do, the more work I do, you know?
It's hard, but my God, the way that you were talking about the bison, it just made me. It was the first time in 22 years I wish I could go back to America.
Oh,
It was so beautiful.
I love them. I just love them.
Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute, but they're so tough. They're so
Yes.
tough.
Yeah, they're like but you look at them and they got these just beautiful faces, but then they can, like stomp the shit out of you. You know, they're like so nice until they get mad at you.
Oh, and the black bears. Oh my
Oh.
God, the black bears. They're so cute. Do not go up and touch them.
Well, do you know what? People think that like with koala bears, they go, "Oh, look at how cute they are." I'm like, those things will rip your face off.
Yes, yes.
You know, like, yes. If you're gonna hug one that's stuffed.
Well, it was where we were at that one, I think, going into the Badlands. Remember, we were going into the thing with the Badlands, right?
Mhm.
And it was we had a couple interesting stories because we had the one with this guy that parked his RV at the gas tank, blocked it all off while walking his dog, and decides to look at me like I had a problem because he's walking his dog and then pumped gas.
Yeah, he wasn't pumping gas while
Yeah.
he was walking his dog. He parked in front of the tank.
Yep.
His whoever others that were there went into the store, and he
Yep.
went and walked the dog while people are lined up waiting to get gas.
Mhm.
And then he walks up and we give him a gesture. We say you're number one and how much we love him. And
Yeah.
and he looks at us like we're the one with the problem. And it's like, yeah.
It's hilarious. It was hilarious.
Mrs. Dadman, I got to address something here.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, from the chat. I mean, the thing is, you have Australian animals that look really cute, but they will claw you to death. They
Mhm.
will claw you to death. They will draw blood. You will be burning. You will be like going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And wallabies are great, but the thing people need to understand is that wallabies are basically little kangaroos. That's all they are.
Oh, really?
They're little
Oh, okay.
kangaroos. Sorry?
Now I wouldn't want to get kicked by a kangaroo. Ooh.
No, No, and we
I
have,
think
we
I'd
have
be
so many
deaf.
varieties of kangaroos here. I mean, we got the big reds, we got the big grays,
Hmm.
and when they go into mating season, oh
Oh,
dear, oh dear, it's not good. And
yeah.
I used to live. I lived in a place, a very haunted place, that the kangaroos, the big grays, which are about 6 feet tall, a little over 6 feet tall, they would be approximately, in American terms, 18 feet away from my front yard. And they would sometimes cross the street and go into my yard and just stare at me as if to say, "Why are you here, motherfucker?"
I can believe it.
Wow.
I can believe it. And
I'm
there's
not going to
someone in
share.
the
I'm
chat that
sorry.
said hello to me, and I do not know. Is it Sita, Keitha? The
Sita.
Sita,
Sita.
Sita,
Sita.
Sita.
Sita. Yes, exactly.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello back. Hello.
yes, exactly. Thank you. Um,
I don't
yes,
have any chat open,
yes,
so I can't
Mrs.
respond
Mrs.
back.
If you,
Yeah.
because he listened about this, and we had fun laughing and stuff with this, buddy. I thought you were referring to one that they had a picture of a lady doing a selfie. Right, Mrs. The bison is laying on the ground. Woman walks up doing a selfie right beside it. But actually, Buddy is right that this had
But you
happened.
know
The
what
lady
people
that
don't realize? They think because they're lying down that they're going to lumber and get up because they look
right,
so.
right.
Lumber.
But Buddy,
They
Buddy,
don't. They can get up extremely
no.
fast, and
But
that's
Buddy,
I think people don't realize
but
that.
Buddy is right because there are signs all around there. Do not approach. Stay with the way.
Yeah,
It was
the police
25
used to
yards is
say
what I heard the
like
other night
3
after
plus
we talked.
plates.
Yeah, but apparently there was a story earlier this week that a bison was gored a woman Monday morning.
Yeah. Well,
Uh, you know,
probably. Well, what's the story say?
um, let's see. A woman was walking with another person in a field near the Lake Lodge cabins on the Yellowstone Lake's north shore. They saw two bison. They turned to walk away, but one of the animals. This is what's unknown. See,
Uh,
the one of the animals charged and gored the woman. Uh,
mm.
Mm.
So, because see, we take it for granted, and you can't because we had one walk through. If you saw the
They
video,
might have gotten
in the
stung
short,
by a bee and got irritated, and that was
there's
what they
no.
saw.
But see, they're wild animals. You never know
Yeah.
what happened and to take it. But like in our case, they just you get lulled in because they lumber and this that and that. Like the one that came through our parking lot and stuff.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, and even though it sounds like these people in this case may have been trying to walk away or to avoid them and keep the distance, you never know. They're animals and it can
Right.
happen. And unlike the one with the lady doing a selfie this week, which was like insane, but
Yeah.
they said it's not known how close they were when it charged. It remains under investigation. So
When you forget because you remember there was one time we saw some. They were around that boulder,
yeah,
and I got way too close to them taking pictures.
right.
I did, and there was nothing. I mean, they could have. I could have been that lady, except
Mhm.
I was in the wrong.
Right,
Definitely that time. You
right.
forget, and you do at times get lulled into the fact that they're wild animals because yeah.
So,
And you have to be on your guard all the
mhm.
time. You should be anyway.
Well, thank you for that story, buddy. I just know somebody that had been up in Yellowstone, uh, but wow, no, I had not heard about this. But see, like you said, you can get lulled into the.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly, buddy. I do agree.
Well,
If you
they've got T-shirts that say "Don't pet the fluffy cows."
right, oh
Can,
yeah, they do. They
can I
do.
make the missus laugh for a moment?
Yes, we'll go. We'll go. But thank you, buddy, for that story about that. But yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Because we're about fun and all. We started picking on Tweety Bird today, and we immediately went off on all kinds of stuff. But yeah, go ahead, Hungry.
Okay, so to make the missus laugh, because I love you, missus. Okay,
Uh-huh.
the thing is, we have people going back to 1986 here in my anti-Tipodian country. Okay, the land of Is that a knife? No. We have people who pet crocodiles, who go up and pet crocodiles, wild crocodiles, and wonder why they get their arm torn off. And
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, where was your brain at?
Oh yes, that's so true. Oh my gosh, we saw people chasing bears up in
No,
Yellowstone.
don't chase the bears. Don't chase the
A
bears.
mama bear with it wasn't just a bear; it was a mama bear with babies.
Oh, dude, no.
Yeah, let's say
Yeah.
I really thought there was going to be a news story the next day. Idiot tourist mauled by bear, mama
Well,
bear.
that's the one we did not even stop at. We were, I think,
No.
leaving the
We were
we
leaving
were
the
leaving the
park. We
park,
saw
and she said, "Don't stop."
I
Just
said,
keep
"Don't
going.
stop." I said, "Those people are chasing bears."
Like,
And my sister, who was in another car, they were there for that, and they said that they said, "Yeah, a mama bear and a baby bear across the road." She goes, and then these idiots started trying to find it. I said, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "I think we saw them."
They had to be
Wow.
millennials.
Oh,
Mrs. They had to be millennials. I mean,
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know the hungry boys. There's some stupid old people out there too now. I've seen people my age.
fair enough. Fair enough. But the thing is, and I think the missus and you would both agree, like, enjoy the nature, but respect the nature.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're not in Disneyland. It's not
But
a
I will
controlled
tell you, but
environment.
but
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
But I will also tell you that there's also part of just wanting to do stuff or do something, because we talked about this, and it'll be interesting. She will have fun with you with this one, though. It's because there were some of those geysers right near our hotel, because we were staying in the hotels near Old Faithful. Well, you could walk to some of the other geysers, and it was getting dark. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, let's just go. We don't, because you could not see any bison, anything out there. It was getting dark. It was like, but there was nothing around. I'm like, she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I was like, come on, dude, we'll just walk down the path. It'll be us. And she's like, there's wildlife out there. And I said, I don't see wildlife. It's not there. And then the next day we got,
The bison in the parking lot.
mm-hmm.
Don't
Yeah.
ever say that to yourself in Australia. Okay. There is always, no matter how dark it is, there is always some nasty wildlife ready to get you.
Yeah.
Always.
With glowing eyes.
Oh my God.
You just see these little. Yeah.
That's
Well, I will say when we were in campground, and they had animals in it. I'll tell you, it was at the Disney campground, and we rented a golf cart, and so we'd ride around at night. But thinking about that, there still are bears there. They still have bear warnings there.
But I got a golf cart.
But we had a golf cart, and we're all running around looking for. We actually were flashing our flashlights in the woods to see the reflection of the deer eyes, so we can find deer. And I think about it now, and I go, that was really probably kind of stupid in the sense that there are bears out there. They had bear sightings and bear warnings, but we didn't.
stupid, she says.
But we were so yes.
Well,
Looking
folks,
back, it probably wasn't the best thing to do, but we
folks,
survived.
folks, you're just getting a little bit of the taste of what's to come on August 11th at 8 p.m. when the three of us will pillage the village.
Oh my goodness!
We'll
I
take
got
M.
to
Night
tell
Shyamalan
you.
Ding Dong's wonderful masterpiece. Oscar should have won, or the raspberries it should have won, or dumpster fire. Throw it down a damn freaking ass. I can't even freaking talk. It's got me pissed off.
Well, I got to
Damn.
tell you,
Yes,
we
please,
did not
please.
have that video because I just refused to buy it. Well, this I
They should pay me to get it.
buy everything thrifted. All my DVDs and everything thrifted, so I get pretty good deals for them. Well, every couple times a year, our library, we have a Friends of our library. They have
Right.
a book sale, and they have stuff that they've taken out of the library, stuff people have donated, and they sell them. They have tons of DVDs. Well, when I go there, you can buy a grocery bag, which is probably equivalent to about 60 to 70 DVDs I can fit in a bag for $12, but it's buy one, get one free. So I get 120 DVDs for about $12. One of them, I found The Village. And I had to buy it. I said, okay, since we're gonna watch it, I have to buy it. So I think for less than 50 cents, I bought The Village.
I mean, as a
It still
credit,
pained me to buy it, but I did.
as a credit to you, Madame, and I say that with respect. I never use that sarcastically. As a credit to you and my buddy, Dad Man Walking, I would never have tracked down what I needed to see for this stream we're going to do because I hate the movie so much.
I didn't track it down. I just happened. I go there to get DVDs. I
Yeah.
collect physical media, and I happened to pick it up and go, it's The Village. Okay. I'll get it. And I think I called Dad Man and said, I found The Village.
I resent the amount of money I paid to see it in the theater to this day. Day.
I the first thing I got was I apologized to her when I got in the van and she picked me up. So it was crazy. It was horrible.
This is such a vile fucking film. I mean,
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm not going to preempt what we're going to do, but when you have a cast like this, starring the
Good actors, top of the line actors. Yeah.
You have the #1 female actor from Alien 1979 in this, and she's phoning this shit in. I am just like very upset.
No,
well, hold that all in until the show.
Oh yeah, you think Hungry Boy's loud today? Wait till that comes in. It comes awful unreleased.
I will do it. But the fact of the matter is, we gotta promote a little bit. We gotta promote because that's the way the world is now.
Yes, exactly. We'll keep promoting because we never know when we'll be able to tweet each other. We'll have to just somehow, hey, Hungry Boy, go look at StreamYard, and then we'll put it out there, and then the whole world will join us on the chat. But hey, hey, I'm not just a banana. I'm also a football, and I'm a man.
And you're a Zuni brother.
Exactly. So yes. But yeah, the logo is a banana from Peely from Fortnite and a football. And my kid did that because of the two main topics that we started with the show, and now we're doing stuff like this. Oh my gosh, it is so much fun. You two are.
And our youngest also drew my avatar.
Yeah, Mrs. Dadman, do you like the original 1982 Clash of the Titans?
You know, I have seen it so long ago, but
you watched some with me the other night.
Yes,
yeah,
I did, and we actually have that on DVD, Dadman, by the way.
Buddy, make sure you're here that night and use that line again. That's what I feel like. That's a good description of what I felt like when I was done that movie. So, but yeah,
I actually sat with Dadman and watched a bit of it a couple days. What was it, last night?
Yeah,
a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, because you had made some comments. I mean, that's one of the things we were going to talk about it. I mean, we could talk about that a little bit while you're here if you want to. Well, I mean, what were your thoughts with the CGI? Because we are I guess it wasn't CGI at the time, but practical effects.
Oh,
well, no, some of them were CGI. They were.
It was Ray Harryhausen animatronic effects using
a green screen.
Yeah, I mean, it was all physical stuff. I mean, he had to make the puppets, he had to make the marionettes, he had to make everything.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yes, it was not CGI. Yes, it was the green screen. Yeah, I loved it. I love it. Even though you look back and you can see the effects are dated in a sense, but there's just such a quality. If they ever changed that, I would be so upset.
Well, they did.
Well, I know they did the movie, but I didn't see the new one.
But I mean, don't watch the other stuff that comes out, Mrs. Don't watch it. But I mean, do you agree that the owl was adorable?
Oh my gosh, I just wanted to hug it. It was so cute.
Yes.
It had personality. It was this metal thing, but it had personality.
It had more personality than most actors and actresses have in modern movies,
Yes, yes.
and definitely than The Village.
The way they did with the use the eyes and to
Yes.
express the, oh my gosh, it was just masterful puppetry. It was really
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love the owl. But
The
I didn't, the one thing I didn't and I will confess this, mythology I know nothing about. I do not know. I don't. I had to ask him who is this, who is that, and and he's saying names. I'm like, oh, okay, like it meant nothing to me. But
right.
um, but I always thought that the snake-haired lady, what is
Medusa.
Medusa.
Medusa. I didn't think that she was supposed to be so unattractive, so ugly. I thought she was. I mean,
Well, I
I think
think that was part of the
was she
curse. Was
cursed to be ugly?
I think that was part of what had done was to make her, because she was vain with her beauty and offended Athena, or was
Yes.
Aphrodite. It basically, and that was the purpose, was to make her so hideous no man would ever find her attractive again.
Okay, because I
They
thought
they
that.
bastardized it with that stupid alcohol commercial or the sunglass commercial, whatever. That's not Medusa, So
Oh, I
her friends
vaguely
would be.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
But yeah,
I
I liked all. I like stop motion. Anyway, even to this day,
yeah, I prefer it. I prefer it.
um
But I'm going to back you up here, Mrs. Because the thing is with Ray Harryhausen, who made this 1982 classic, and it was like the end of his career. Okay, it was going to be his swan song,
mhm,
his swan song, and he had been doing this stuff since 1953. And the thing is that he was a massive, like Clobby and Jack Kirby and all the people that Clobby really likes. He was a massive mythology and anthropology fan.
mhm,
And so when he did things, he researched things. He researched them, and he took what was available at the time. And I mean, the academia changed between the 1960s and the 1970s and the 1980s and the 1990s. I know that very well. The thing
mhm.
is, he did the best he could with what he had available at the time, and he created the best maquettes, the best sculptures, the
Mhm.
best depictions of what Medusa would be at that time.
Right.
And he was showing respect to the people who cared. And
Mhm.
that's what it comes down to. Just like, we all love Trilogy of Terror. It comes down to respect for people who love that kind of stuff. It comes
Yeah.
down to respect for any other kind of film that you and Deadman together would love. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, just saying.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
the respect is what matters. And Harryhausen always showed respect. I mean, the fact of the matter is, when he did It Came from Beneath the Sea, which was the first great giant octopus or cephalopod or squid movie, the thing was, he was going to do 8 arms on the octopus. But the studio said, we don't have the budget to give that to you. So he said, okay, I can do 5. That is a mensch. That is a guy like Roddenberry. That is a guy who says, I'm going to do what I have to do to make this film happen. And I'm going to make other people happy by making this film happen. And that is what Harryhausen also did with Clash of the Titans, 1982. And we're not going to talk about the CGI bull pucky.
Yeah. Let me say goodbye to Admiral Teague. He's got to step off to mass, but thanks for
Bye.
coming, Admiral Teague.
Howdy ho, Admiral.
Thank you for your history talk and stuff. Look forward to more going forward. And Ceda's saying that Medusa in the God of War Game 3 is gorgeous. So,
And I'm sorry if I went on too much, but
Oh no, no, no. Well, I think unfortunately, I think with the CGI, they have become extremely lazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, and they're like, oh well, we'll just throw, so they CGI. I I I love the show Dead Zone, and
Right.
I said I love this talking about the way they do effects. I love the
Yes.
show Dead Zone, the Dead Zone.
Which was a movie before it
Yes,
became a TV show.
it was a book before it became a yes.
Exactly, and it was. I mean, it's one of my favorite Stephen King movies. Okay, so
Yes.
Mrs. We got a lot that we relate to here together.
But the thing that I liked about Dead Zone is that there was a lot of stuff that they did, and I always went, oh my gosh, how did they do that? And they did it so simply. Like they would like he would have a vision, and it'd be like in the woods or something. Well, they'd build like a little part of a room where he was standing, and when he had the vision, they would just kind of pan over to the wood. I mean, simple things like someone would a vision of a room, in the past. Well, they would have the people that were there to begin with, and then they would kind of do a pan, and all the people would squat down, and then it would be simple stuff like that. Which I think nowadays they don't think of that. They don't think of that. They go, well, we must CGI out all these people, and we must do
Right.
this, and we must do that, and they just don't think of this. You know, they lose the technique and
But
the art of the practical effects or the shooting or the editing or whatever.
But also to back you up, they don't rely on the actors and a good script
Hmm.
anymore. And when
That's
you look
true.
at the original Dead Zone film, one of my favorite moments of all time is when Christopher Walken says, "The ice is gonna break," and it's chilling. It's
Hmm.
chilling. It brings I'm getting goosebumps even mentioning it right now. And you rely on that actor with the right script to say that line in the right way
Hmm.
and just let the film flow
Yes.
instead of just being an asswipe who sticks a CGI moment in there to try to back up what you were not doing
Hmm.
with the film. I mean,
Well,
Christopher
haven't you
Walken
said
had a
before
great
that
moment.
they don't trust the audience? A lot of times
Yes,
they don't trust the audience to infer
yes.
things to or just that that we're not idiots. I mean, I
Exactly.
think they now a lot of the stuff is that we're stupid and we can't get it unless we tell it to you in writing,
Or you beat you over the head with a
someone
graphic
has to
notes.
have the monologue about, oh, I am so angry at them. I think I am going to take and stab them with a knife instead of, you looking at their face and going, wow, they're really ticked off. They're going to kill somebody.
Or
They don't,
that little Zuni doll is going to come after my butt.
yes.
It's like,
Oh no, I
I
am
mean,
so
no, I
afraid
don't need
of the Zuni
blood
doll.
everywhere. That I don't need blood everywhere to show me how violent and bad it is. That God, I mean, just sometimes less is more. You let your mind build up the expectation. You don't need it, but everything now becomes an over
Well,
saturation of
Hitchcock was
detail and
also a
stimulus.
master of that.
Who was that?
Hitchcock.
Mm.
Yeah.
I enjoy him, but I don't know as many. I have a lot of his movies. I have not studied them as much as I have, but he will take and um like with I watched the thing about with Psycho,
Yeah.
what the shower scene.
Oh God.
You never see a knife wound because there isn't one, and but just that whole inference of the whole thing is just I couldn't take a shower for a long time the first time I watched that. I mean, it was terrifying.
Oh, how
Um,
about
and
having
then they would,
nightmares when you're 10-year-old about some little
yeah.
things chasing you with a thing chatting at you? You know that.
But he didn't show. There never was any. There was no knives entering the body, and that at all.
Yes.
Well,
And
see,
that
I'll
was
go back to Trilogy of Terror. There was no knives going in anything, but you could see this.
no,
You could see the result of it. You knew it was happening, but without all the
Yeah.
detail of the actual action.
100%. And also in the remake of Psycho, I don't know if Mrs. Dadman ever saw that. Please don't if you haven't.
Not the like Psycho 2s and 3s, but the remake of it.
Yes, the
No,
remake of it.
no, I have not seen that
That
one.
is-
I can't watch.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to back up what you're saying, is they thought the audience is too dumb. We've got to actually add more of this garbage cinematic material
Mhm.
and methodology to make people watch it. And that is not necessary. That is
No.
not necessary. Just like when you're talking about, and credit to you, the Medusa from the 1982 Clash of the Titans, that's all we need. That's all we need. We do
Mhm.
not need CGI to back this up. I mean, give us a good story, give us a good script, and then let the special effects augment, not supersede, but
Yes,
augment. That's a Scrabble word for you, Mrs. Supersede.
I love
Um,
Augment.
Yeah, I love you.
I can even spell it.
And she lives south of the Mason-Dixon line, y'all.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Southern women know how to spell. Damn it. Suck that, New York.
There you go.
Yeah, we can spell.
Well, Mrs.
Y''ALL.
Sorry, Emerald Teague, but Southern women can spell. So,
And serve you a glass of sweet tea right behind it. So hey, or no, when you really cringe is when they say, "Bless your heart."
Oh, you know what when the Southern woman says, "Oh, just bless your heart," you know what that really means? 99 times out of 100, you're such a fucking idiot, and I just can't say that because I'm a Southern lady, so I'll just go, "Oh well, bless your heart."
you know what I get terrified from, Mrs.? You know what I get terrified from?
What?
Is when somebody in a commentary on a YouTube channel replies to me and they say, "I'll pray for you." I was like, "Oh shit."
You're in trouble. Studying the ultimate Flash. Yeah, about the CGI. I think he was referring to Flash. Yeah.
I'll pray for you. Oh damn, I
Yes.
fucked up.
You're in trouble. Oh, bless your little heart.
So Emerald Teague's still lurking out there. I'm putting on my Sunday best, and all I can do is confirm what Mrs. Dadman means by "bless your heart."
Yeah. It's the same as like, oh, you're so special.
Oh, God.
Well, listen, this is one thing you'll love with the Missus too, because she's a good old Southern woman too. And we were at a Valentine's banquet thing, and
Right.
they had couples up there doing a little fake newlywed game where they ask questions about each other. And
And if they ever put us on the panel for one of those things, my memory is so bad. He remembers stuff. They asked one time, what is your wife's? We were in the audience. So like,
right,
what's your wife's favorite perfume? And I'm going, I don't have one. He goes, yes, you do. I said, I don't even wear perfume. He goes, yes, you do.
Volupte.
Volupte. And now I remember it now because he said that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. He knows more about me than I know about myself.
The better one was right after that. And Sita knows the definition too. But this was even better. And Hungry Boy, you're really going to like this one. The question was, what is your wife's favorite thing to say to you? or I think I can't remember if it's
What's
to
your
you or
favorite
I
thing
think
to
maybe to say to I think like to people. What's their favorite thing to say? And we were playing around, kind of saying what we would do or say, and then I just
And
turned
well,
around.
I looked at him and I said, "Well, I can't say that. We're at church."
No,
That's what I said. And you go, "Oh no!" And then
no.
you told me
I
what it
said
was.
no. I said it wasn't that. It's you're an idiot.
And I went, "Oh my gosh, you're right." I say
Yeah,
that to everybody.
even me
I
all
do. I
the
say that
time.
to everyone.
She'll look at me and like driving down the road and like you're an idiot. Just because I've asked. But I usually deserve it. I will say a lot of times. So
Well, he does things like this is what he does. He goes like, I can't turn the TV on. Can you turn the TV on?
no, this thing did not want to be turned
And
on
I'm like,
today.
you're such an idiot.
Oh,
It was
Mrs.
fighting
Dillon.
against me. The normal procedures did not work.
They did not. But you
Oh my
do know
God,
I
you know
told you because
procedures don't work.
but I've told you what you need to do.
Well, I
You
didn't
if it
do what
doesn't
you.
work, you always unplug it and plug it back in and then try it again.
I like the typical IT response. Have you turned it off, turned it on, or plugged it in, plugged it out? Okay. Well, no. Okay. Can I just say I'm lazy? Would
I'm
that be honest?
finer than a frog split 4 ways.
I
Frog
mean,
hair
oh
split
God,
4
that's
ways.
Frog
beautiful.
legs.
I'm
Oh,
finer than frog hair split 4 ways.
Mrs.
Wow. Oh,
Deadman,
you're very fine, buddy.
Mrs. Deadman, you make me laugh like Burt Reynolds in 1977.
Oh my gosh.
I like Burt Reynolds.
I love Burt Reynolds. I
Oh, man.
love Burt Reynolds. Oh my God, I love Burt Reynolds. We got a lot of shows to talk about that ain't even sci-fi. Okay, NCIS. We talk about Smokey and the Bandit. Oh,
Was
we got
Smokey abandoned around the time that he did the famous center fell? The famous, you know what picture I'm talking about?
yeah. I do. Oh God. Oh God.
Was that
the
around
one-
that
oh.
time?
Oh wait. The famous picture. Oh, the famous. Oh, let me see if I can find that.
You know, I don't know
Yeah.
if you could post that picture. Well, you might
Well,
be
I
able
can
to.
show it maybe.
I don't know if you'll be able to. I don't think it's showing anything.
Well, no, it's not.
But you know what picture I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
Everyone,
on the Trans Am.
no.
Oh.
No, this is one where he's naked.
No, I
pretty
know.
much.
That. You didn't have to say it. I was trying to dramatic.
No, but he's not on the Trans Am, I don't think.
Okay.
I think he's just it was like for a ladies magazine or something. It was in a really weird magazine, wasn't it?
I think so.
Lethal
Well,
Blast.
apparently, it's on, what I'm looking at is something called Cafe Mom. So hey,
The Cafe Mom. Oh God. Is that like Karen Mom?
oh
God.
yeah, this one.
Can you post
I
it?
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, go ahead, post it.
I don't know if I can. Honestly, because it's
Yeah, put it
almost,
in the little thing so we can see it, so I can see it.
if y'all
I'll
can
do it.
see it a little bit, but only because there's like, it's definitely 1970s. You know, there's no such thing as the waxing
Was
back
it in
then.
that? Was it in that magazine?
I think it might have been actually, because if you look at the, can you see it?
Oh, I almost added it to the stream
you
because I
see it?
forgot I could do that. I can barely see it.
Well, it's basically he's not shaven anywhere on his body, and you can see the top part of it. So I'm just not sure if we'll get bashed for something, you know.
Well,
So, oh my gosh, just look it up. You will see the scene picture. Sorry guys,
I'll tell you something not to search. Whoa. Never mind.
Hey, I remember to keep the stream down. Usually yeah, I do think that probably was that one. So
Oh, you could show that's not
that
not
one
really showing
where it's like
anything.
in the David picture. All right,
On the bare rug.
yeah, bare ass on bare rug. Oh, Beavis, bare ass on TV, bare ass on TV. All right, I'm not going to keep this up long. Okay,
Yeah, but this is the photo we're talking
but
about.
here's what it is. All right,
Okay.
there you go.
There we go. There
So-
we go.
There
Yeah.
we go.
No, but
Oh
you know
my
what? I
God.
remember that one being shown on the TV show, like a Dinah Shore show. I heard him and Dinah
Sponsored
Shore
by
were like really.
Manscaped. That's what I was trying to say. It was like 1970s. It definitely is not modern.
Now, as the credit to the missus,
Yeah.
if anybody knows the name Dinah Shore, you are Generation X. Okay.
I know Dinah Shore, yes.
But Burt Reynolds and her were really good friends, right? Well, did
Yeah.
they? I think they. I don't know if they dated or not, but I know they were really, really good friends. Yes, I
Well,
used to watch the Dinah Shore show, and I watched the Oh my gosh, what was the other one that was during? Oh, it was a guy.
Daisy! Perfect timing.
Nothing.
Daisy.
Um,
He walked into a bunch of anti-Tweety Bird, pro Southern sweet tea throwing around, bringing out the sexy Southern rock Trans Am stars from the 1970s and shows. So hey, great to have you, Daisy.
there was one that
Oh, it's she. Admiral Teague saying it was Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, all of a sudden I could see
You
him,
know
but
what?
I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, and Daisy knows who Dinah Shore was, and Bert was with Lonnie Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think that
they might have been more friends than
I think
anything
they
else.
were just good friends.
But yeah, it's all crazy. So, but I'll tell you, I'm gonna bring up a picture about a movie that I never want to see. I made a mistake of glancing at it like a couple seconds, and I just when I say I hear banjos,
there was a romance between Burt Reynolds and Dinah Shore.
Oh, there was. Oh, all right. All right. So Burt Reynolds. Okay. I was known in a minute. Okay. Then I misunderstood there. All right. Well, thanks for the clarification. Appreciate it. But this one, you'll know, like this one. That's from the Banjo movie.
Oh, is that from?
That's from Deliverance.
Deliverance.
One of the movies I will never talk about. I like to purge that out of my head. And, just like when I say banjos, I'm serious. If I'm walking somebody and I'm saying hearing banjos, that means I was scared and I'm ready to start around.
All I'm gonna say is the ding 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 ding. That's all I'm gonna say.
That movie traumatized
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty.
Yeah.
I mean that scene that he was in that they did, it traumatized him, and
it's traumatizing me just listening to it. So that's where I can't think of. But hey, on a happier note, like we're trying to do today, he was 25 and she was 50. Way to go, Donna. Well, hey, Mrs. kind of robbed the cradle a little bit.
No, not that much.
Not that much, but
it's only 7 years.
Okay,
it was
still
25.
Take pride.
Okay, for the missus, I have to say this term, okay? A December spring romance, and that's acceptable. That's acceptable.
You know, and the thing is that before I met him, I always dated and was attracted to men, much older than me. I mean, I was, 16 and it was like 25-year-olds. I just never, and then it was like, I didn't know how old he was. And when I found out, I like totally freaked out. I was like, no way, no way. And then so I started people started sending me articles about people that, women that married younger guys. And that people started sending me articles and everything.
Oh God, no!
It's like I had a cheering squad. It was like,
they were like, please.
Well, you know what's even funnier was that I think my mother had a little heartburn with it. I think a little bit too, which is only 7 years. So what's really the big deal? I think she was more in the childbearing thing. I don't know what the thing was.
I think it was just really not good.
But when she mentioned it, she was a beautician. So, beauticians are the center of all gossip in the world, she found out so many of her clients were married to younger guys. It was like a thing, and it was like, really? It was very eye-opening. So, yeah, but I forgot about everybody sending you the articles. That was hilarious. So
I
we got-
joke with Dad Man now that if something happens to him, I'm gonna look for an 18-year-old.
oh wow, hello, wow,
Yep.
that is funny. Sorry, I had
So,
to munch on a pretzel, but yes, all
I
right.
know. I heard.
Let me say hello to JT Kirk. He's lurking for now, but glad to have y'all in there. We got 10 of y'all with us. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us while we're just sitting here messing around, having a good day. Mrs., I don't know how long you've got, but thank you for coming in for a bit with us and appreciate it, talking about it. But yeah, but you know, Hungry was doing the Eastbound and Down song. So damn good they made it a Westbound and Down version, you know? Take the same song, same tune, just change a couple words and we got, but I'm serious, Hungry Boy. That is one of the songs that makes me want to go kick some ass or do something.
Yes.
Do you ever find, and people in the chat, I don't know how you are with music. There's some songs that I go nuclear and want to just beat. I don't condone to the benevolent neglect overlords. In no way am I condoning violence or anything like that. I'm just talking about personal experiences with good music. It's just I just want to go to war, like AC, like when you get some Guns N' Roses, Paradise City, or Westbound and Down, or just it's like I just start. I can't control it. I just want to go crazy. You know. I don't know if music does that to y'all.
No, not me. Sorry. I can control myself.
Oh, The Touch. I'm not familiar with that song. Oh, The Touch. But yes, some songs will do that. And hey, Daisy loves you, Mrs. out there.
I know
So
I said hi.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit, not to interrupt, but it's a little bit of a geek thing here because Jerry Reed, who did Eastbound and Down, and was a star in the film where that film, but he was a guest on Scooby-Doo in the 70s.
I remember those.
Yeah, I love those. I love the Hollywood guest stars on Scooby-Doo. I love that stuff. And
I remember that, yeah.
oh, he was great in that Scooby-Doo episode. And so I love Eastbound and Down, you know? I love it. I mean, it gets the blood rising. I can't say it in any way other than that. It gets the blood rising. There's something just so about it. And it's honest and it's fair. And I mean, it just makes you look at Sally Field a whole different way.
Yeah, Sally Field. Yeah.
Mrs. Laugh, she knows what I mean. She knows.
Sally Field looks so innocent, but we know better.
All right.
So innocent, but she's so sexy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, good luck with that, Admiral Teague. Have a good one. And that Touch by Stan Bush is Optimus Prime's theme. Yes.
Oh, by Admiral T.
Oh, guy wouldn't take a bus. He would have an Uber chariot of fire. All right, with that, there you go, sir. Oh my God. Yes, exactly. If you watch Jerry, just do a Google, just search YouTube. There's one where he's like sitting there. Obviously, he's not playing live, but you could watch him play it. You could just see the way he had mechanics with this. Not even with a pick, really, just kind of going with his fingers, and that's where you great guitar players.
You know who is an amazing guitarist? Coochie Coochie Girl.
Madonna?
God, no.
Oh, Charo.
Charo.
Yes.
I love Charo. I love
she
Charo.
Is amazing.
By the way, we have moved on from Clash of the Titans. We may come back to it in a little bit, but go ahead. Yes, Charo.
Well, sorry, I heard about
no. This is
you're playing in the chat.
No, you are fitting in with me and Hungry Boy because I think this is like so cool because we're like bouncing all over the place, like and not settling in one spot. I think it's really going well, Mrs. So I love it. Go ahead, Charo. What did you like about Charo and her ability to pick?
It was amazing. Have you ever heard her play?
Yeah,
she is friggin' phenomenal. It does is it like the I don't know what it's called.
The flamenco?
Is it? I don't know what the style is.
It might be the flamenco with a C in it. So
yeah.
But oh my gosh. Roy Clark was yeah.
Hee-haw!
Yeah.
That old.
And Charo was so good at music that she became an actress, and she was even on the Love Boat.
Yes. That's where I first saw Charo. And
Oh,
then
really?
she played, then I saw somewhere else, and then she, I saw her playing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this," because I thought, "Oh, this is," I'll be honest with you, I went, "Oh my gosh, this is just a bimbo, that's on there. How did she get on this show?" And then she started, she played the guitar, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this woman has talent."
Yes.
And
Yes,
I
she's
was like,
very talented.
just it hit me
Yeah.
upside the head.
Well, because I think you're so used to them trying to just put her in scenes and with her talking but when you actually got a chance to see her playing it, you learn a new appreciation for it. Because of course they're going to want to do it with.
And of course,
Especially-
yeah,
Oh, Penny! I guess at Penny Applebee's, is that for lunch today, or their theme song gets your blood riling? So,
I love Penny.
oh my gosh,
Great.
I love Penny too. We are at 2 hours, Hungry Boy.
oh my goodness.
Can you believe we've been going 2 hours?
Talking a
I
lot
can't
about
believe
nothing,
it.
huh?
I'm tired. I'm tired, but I'm sticking with it.
All right. Well, if you need to drop, you let me know and we can just cut out. But as long as you're willing to go, we'll keep going. But we've been all over the place. We started mocking Tweety, got into World War II, a little Civil War.
Yeah.
We've been all over the world with things, and we've had some serious, some laughter. So, folks, make sure if y'all can, tweet it out. Bring your friends, drunks, neighbors, dogs, pets, cats. Oh, you're getting salmon. All right. Ooh, cool.
Nice choice.
All right.
Nice choice.
All right. Enjoy that.
Go, go,
Now,
go.
Go
Uh-huh.
dancers. Yes.
Yeah.
Daisy Blossom.
Woohoo! How about those
And-
high heel boots? Those the high knee boots, not high heel, but
They were made for walking.
This brings us back to something I love from 1970s television, which
Sure.
is the Dean Martin live action show where he had the gold diggers and they had the go-go boots. And my God, I mean, television in the 1970s, Flip Wilson, etc.
Oh,
Oh,
I remember.
magnificent. Go ahead.
I just remember Flip Wilson, the Flip Wilson show, and
Yes.
he'd come out as Geraldine. Was it
Yeah.
Geraldine? Yes.
He just
Oh,
made me do it.
yes. Oh, God, I hadn't remembered those in such a long time.
I know our pastor used to say that, quoting that, that was hilarious, that famous line. But that's back,
The Sonny and Cher show. I like the Sonny and Cher show
they
too.
don't have shows like that these days and age anymore. And I don't think
Well, they don't have them in America.
No.
Well, yeah, because
They
see,
have them
there's
in
a
other
Korean show.
countries, but they don't have them
there's
in America.
there's a Korean show but it goes so long, and I can only read so long. Mental Mission, or what's the other name?
Knowing Brothers is
No,
called
Mental Mission is the one I was talking about.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
watched
but
that
it's also
together.
called Knowing Brothers or
Okay.
Ask Me Anything.
Ask Me Anything. Yeah, it's a show I liked, and it kind of reminded me of that in a way. It's like there's
Like a
70
variety
shows.
show kind of.
It'd be nice to have something like that again, but my fear of having it now is I would, me, we'll throw the profanity out there. We like the innuendo, especially watch some of our Fortnite streams. But there is a time and a place at times with things. There's also a limit of how much there's a sort of class. But I'm so afraid that nowadays it would all be resorted to dirty jokes and like watching Family Feud now. Watching
Right.
Family Feud in the 70s, you knew Richard Dawson. Everybody knew what hanky panky,
Right.
whatever the code words were. The man kissed so many damn women contestants. They all expected it. He even married a contestant. Did you know that?
I know.
Yes, he
dude.
married one of the contestants. Yes, exactly. And actually stayed with her the rest of his life, which I think is really cool.
You're
but-
preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the
But,
choir
but
here.
the thing is now it's like, it's just like, can we
Well-
there's about, like I said, there's good innuendo. It's like telling the same joke 400 times and things. It's like,
Yeah.
keep it classy at some point. Does that make sense?
It's like Saturday Night Live. Their early years of Saturday Night Live were fantastic. They were great. They had little innuendos. They had, they had their drug jokes. They had all that kind of stuff was in there. But it was funny. And now they had political little little things, not a lot, but they had, they had little jabs and things. But
Yeah.
I can't even. I haven't watched the show forever because it just was like, oh my gosh, number one, they weren't funny. They just weren't funny. And yeah, and they resorted to they had a lot of sexual innuendo, or
Yeah.
let's bash whatever politician or policy or whatever. You
Are
know,
those people that live below the Mason-Dixon line, y'all?
but they're just not funny, and and it's the art of humor is gone, and I'm kind of afraid that it's going to be really hard for it to come back, because
Yeah.
part of humor, in a sense, is a I'm going to say is offending, is a it's and that's not the right phrase. It's making a commentary on the you know current events, whatever it may be, whatever, all sides and everything else. But
Right
now
on.
you can't do that because people will get upset, or hurt their feelings, and so then they'll get canceled, and then they never can work again because they made a joke which was funny, and other all people appreciated it, but a few people got upset, and because a few people got upset,
Well,
Yeah.
now
we
it's
now
happening
can't we now can't tell jokes.
well, now the thing is, it's 20 years down the road that the offense is now being taken, and
No, I'm
it's
talking
being
about
held
even
up.
today. People,
Yeah.
you comedians really can't
Mhm.
be comedians,
Yeah.
because for fear of, um, if they offend, and like I say, people offend
Yes.
a certain group of people, but you don't offend all of them, because some of them think, hey, that's kind of funny. They
Yeah.
laugh at it because it's funny, but then you offend a few
Hmm.
people who are loud about it, and so they can't, so then they get in trouble for it,
Well,
the comedians, and
before
so
we
you
go
can't
before we go further with that, I
places.
did want to go. Yeah, I like the way JT Kirk is like that submarine that comes up out of the depths, like, huh, what?
Beep, beep,
Beep,
beep.
beep. But hey, but to
Oh,
but
yes,
to uh, see that watch J dramas, K dramas, and C dramas. So you are definitely fitting with the misses here with
yes.
that. Absolutely.
I actually subscribe to two channels that air
Hmm. Which ones are
Japanese,
they?
Korean, Chinese, Taiwanese,
Mm, I know we got the Vicky
Vicky
thing.
Rakuten and Aki,
Okay.
both of them.
Well, that is it, that. Yeah, it is interesting because I've liked that Men on Mission. That's been kind of a
They've
funny.
got good there's some good variety shows. Now I tell you, want to see some vicious variety shows? Go on YouTube and search something like Japanese um uh variety shows,
Hmm.
and they have like or Japanese game shows. Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh, where they're half naked and the
No,
walls coming
no.
to them.
It's like
You know,
they have one show where it's these guys, and they answer questions. They answer a question wrong. They're standing over this. Basically, it's like a big hand that's on a lever, and if they answer a question wrong, they set it off, and it smacks them in the crotch.
ow!
Yes,
That's
it's
almost like
vicious.
that.
A
That's
lot of
almost.
their stuff is vicious like that. They had one where they did like the pop-up pirate game,
Mm.
and if the pop-up pirate, whoever lost, a Thai kickboxer who would come out and kick them. This is a game show.
Would come out and what, kick them?
Kick them. Now, I don't know if you don't know how strong a Thai kickboxer's kick is. It's strong.
I saw the first Jackass the other day just because it was on TV and I was flipping, and I know this female looked like kickboxer just left right hooked this dude and like knocked him out. So I could imagine it was a hard kick. So um, let me see. Sita says that yes, I watch those live on Nico. Also, it's Chinese ones on Bilibili. So there looks like there's many different outlets to find the shows that you need and you watch. So, and that's the thing is, people are now with the technology, people can look other places and find entertainment venues out there. Look at what really days of YouTube.
Mhm.
early days. That's what got me in watching certain shows for, actually replaced television and really still has. I mean, I don't watch week any type of
I couldn't
routine
tell you
shows.
any American television
The
that's
only
new.
American stuff I watch is sports. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have our Sling TV. I wouldn't have wouldn't need any type of TV. But maybe something for local weather, like during hurricanes and things like that. But oh my gosh, Words and Pictures has been lurking forever. Hello, been here for an hour. Read comedy. I highly recommend Tommy Tieran. He has a YouTube channel. Oh, well, you have to check that out. But Words and Pictures, good to see you here. You hiding out in the back. We. But thank you. And if you're lurking, thank you for lurking. We love y'all. We got 13 people here. Just smash that like button if you haven't already. Because I repeat it because I am always forgetting to hit like buttons on other people's streams
I
too.
can't get on the like button. I've got to get on the show to do that.
So, and if you haven't sub. If you and honestly, seriously, if you hit the bell to get all the notifications, and make sure you're still subscribed because sometimes those get changed and people don't realize it. Make sure you're still subbed. We're almost at 350. Need just 4 more. Yay! But bring your friends, neighbors, everybody else in. We'll keep growing. And hey, today is a blast. This is a great reason why we're here. And you guys make a hobby fun. And all the feedback and all the people here with all the it's just cool hanging out with you guys and you're talking with us and laughing and coming up with things that we can even learn. And you see, sometimes we hit some serious topics, then we get silly again and we have some fun. So hope you enjoy your time here. We got the great Hungry Boy and the Missus is with us for a bit. So we're just kind of on a all over the place type day because there was Mrs. I wanted. Oh, and Words Picture says, congrats on this great chat show stream. Quality work, guys.
Nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I've been holding off. Hungry, were you able to hear what we were saying about the some of the variety shows and the stuff of the 70s? And
I was just shutting up because I am a massive fan of the variety shows. Okay, so like I'm a Sammy Davis Jr. fan. I'm a Jerry Lewis fan. I'm a Bob Hope fan. And I don't care how problematic these people are now. I don't
morning,
care.
JFK. Sorry. Hey, morning, JFK. But yeah, go ahead.
I grew up with these people. And they made our lives better. So, I don't want to hear a bad word about Sammy Davis Jr. I don't, Now, Sinatra, that's a different matter. But
well, I tell you what.
But part of my thing is like I was kind of referring to like even today. I don't see how to be a comedian today.
Yes,
would be extremely difficult.
Hungry. We got a request to drop your link. Do you mind if we drop your Twitter link?
Oh, fine.
Okay. Yeah, Hungry Boy does not stream on his own and anything like that, but he is on Twitter. So
I am here to support other people like you. That is my purpose.
Well,
that is my purpose.
Okay. Well, Daisy was asking, so that's why I want to make sure see which one.
That's fine. I okay, Daisy. All right. I'm just gonna say, I get a little bit salty on Twitter, because otherwise, what is the reason for being on there? Okay. You're laughing because you know what I mean.
Oh, if you know Daisy, no. Well, Daisy is one of the most prim and proper ladies that I know. Sweetest. Yes. She's English. She's American in English, but she's got that. She called it that brute. She can be witty. She's got a little spice out there. Cheeky. Thank you, Mrs.
Yes.
Okay. So if she's got the British in her, she understands that my tweet Okay, it comes from like the appreciation of the 1960s Doctor Who thing and the 1960s sci-fi thing. So I get a little salty.
Oh,
Okay, I get a
speaking
little.
of speaking of Doctor Who, I did get to negate the Village movie that I had to buy.
Holy crap! Can I?
I actually got one of the Doctor Who Tom Baker episodes. It was on a
Nice.
DVD there.
Which one? Which one?
I cannot tell you.
Okay, now,
Oh, look! Hey, Daisy's popped in. Yeah, she said I'm cheeky.
Oh, good.
There's the link, and we've got 16 people with us. Hungry Boy and Mrs.
Wow.
Wow.
I am very glad. Now, Mrs.
Yes.
Deadman, I'm gonna have to make some recommendations for you for
Okay.
Tom Baker, Doctor Who. Okay, so
Okay.
number one, Seeds of Death. You need to see that. It's great. It's wonderful. It will make your life happier. And then we have The Brain of Morbius. It sounds stupid, but it is actually wonderful. It is wonderful. And I will send you links
Okay.
from archive.org so you can
Ah.
see them for free.
I love Archive.
Oh yes, the archive. The archive is wonderful. All praise the archive.
And I tell people, you guys need to go there, and if you want this stuff to stay, you need to support archive.org.
Yes.
I'm going to do my little blurb because they are always constantly in a battle.
Yes. Yes.
With trying to get stuff taken off of that site. And saying that what they're doing, they're copyright infringement, and they are not. They have to fight that. You can support them monetarily, but because if some of this stuff I have found, Robin Hood. Oh, what was it? That one that Mark said. Oh gosh, it was like Robin Hood in outer space or something. Oh gosh, what was the name of that one? But I found that on there, which it would not even be in existence if Archive wasn't there. It would be gone, and no one would ever see it again. So yeah, go out there. That place is fantastic. The one I have, wait, I had looked it up. The one I have is called The Ribose Operation.
Oh, that's good. I love that one. Love that one.
I'm like, yes. So out of the old doctors,
pardon?
And out of the old doctor, I call them the original doctors. Which one's your favorite?
Okay, that actually is my YouTube. My Twitter name, which is Trouton. So Hungry for Trouton Epps, and Trouton Patrick Trouton was a great BBC actor, and he was also in The Omen. He played the priest in The Omen.
Oh,
and he is a monumental. He also did a whole bunch of stuff for Hammer Horror Films.
Okay. I just had to look at a picture of him. Ah, yes.
Yeah, you see him.
Mm-hmm.
He was in The Gorgon, one of the best Hammer Horror films, The Gorgon. He played the nasty, horrible police chief in The Gorgon. And he was magnificent in that. And he was playing against Peter Cushing, who is one of the best British actors we ever had. And I mean, the fact that he was willing to play a bad guy when he was a good guy as Doctor Who, that says a lot about his soul as an actor, his soul. And I'm sorry to anybody who doesn't believe in such stuff, but I do believe in the human soul. I really do.
Yeah. And Daisy had forgotten about the role in The Omen. And Daisy, this is what I was trying to say. It says, I have a gallows sense of humor, but I can be cheekier. The gallows sense of humor is what I was trying. The word I was trying to find to describe Daisy. So
and he's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, Patrick Trouton actually played Robin Hood back in the 50s.
Oh, I can believe that. Yeah. Do you know the two that I would say that I watched the two that I remember was probably the ones that everybody, of the older ones,
Yeah.
is Tom Baker and Peter Davidson.
Oh God, yes. Oh God, but the one I want to recommend to you, and I'll have to send you a link, okay? The one that's gonna really get to you, if you like the sci-fi horror stuff, Mrs. Dadman,
Hmm.
is called The Tomb of the Cybermen. And it is brutal, especially for the 1960s. It is brutal. And it makes everything Star Trek basically got to suck it up and say, yeah, you came first, you
Hmm.
know? And it is a wonderful epic. It is an epic serial. And the designs, I mean, if you like 1960s stuff, if you like the stuff that's a little bit psychotronic, as they say
Hmm.
on IMDb, although they use that word too much now, they use that word too much. It is delicious. It is gorgeous. The designs, the production designs are just fantastic. And there is nothing that they did that they could not make by hand. By
Mm.
hand. And that is what I love that by hand stuff. Oh, I love it.
Hmm.
Oh, it's just it gets to me when people have to make something and they've got a week to do it and they've got 10% of the budget to do it. That's what gets me when they do
Hmm.
it right.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's, like I say, I think that's just so lost now.
Yes.
A lot. I'm not saying totally, but in a lot of this, a lot of it's just it's a lost art.
Well, look at some of the recent, because we've been talking CGI and practical effects.
Mm,
I look back on Clash of Titans and appreciate it for what we had.
mm.
I don't look back on it badly, but like the new movies that come out, like the recent Ant-Man and Wasp, you know, no, the missus and I watched Cocaine Bear. And one of the things that I believe you said too, Mrs. Cocaine Bear CGI was better than the big Marvel Studio CGI.
But not only that, the characters were better. I hate to say, I cared what happened to the characters in Cocaine Bear.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I had an investment in them. Ant Man, I could have cared less. That
Yeah.
not one of them, they could have all
Oh,
died, and
oh,
I did not care. I
that's
had
not.
nothing invested in them. And this Cocaine Bear, this supposedly stupid movie, that everybody laughed about, you know was better than these blockbusters.
I mean, well, even going back to the kaiju movies, look at the Godzilla Kong movies. We're sitting there, please eat the people, please eat the people, please eat the people.
Yeah,
It's like we're cheering for the monsters. I mean, beat the aliens too, and beat the people.
yeah.
Oh my
You
god!
preach it to the
Oh,
choir,
no.
dude. I the first kaiju movie I saw was in probably 1970 when I was on a plane as a toddler going from Australia to America, and it was Godzilla versus King Kong, and that's
Yeah.
what made me fall in love with it, right? So I love Godzilla movies, but I hear what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And oh my God, the amount of people crap in
Yeah.
the legendary movies is just not right. It's
I
See,
know.
not
I
right.
loved the original King Kong. I saw that um, on TV
Yeah.
when I was a kid. Now, that movie, to this day, I still remember it. I believe, now I might be remembering wrong, but I believe that there was a scene in King Kong
Mm,
when he takes and he picks up somebody.
mm.
Uh, there's like an African tribe or something there, and he picks up one of them and he eats them.
Okay. No,
Is
you're right there. All right. Okay. You're
is
right
it?
there.
Did that
Yes.
happen?
Yes, it did.
Okay,
I've seen the film eight
okay,
times.
okay.
I
Now I got to tell you that scene stuck with me. I had nightmares that night that we had 3 acres. Well, we had 3 acres of property. That's what we lived on, and
Yeah.
our whole family was there, and my great grandmother was there, and all this stuff. And I have vividly that King Kong was around our neighborhood, our yard, and he picked up my great grandmother. We're all running, and some of us are jumping in garbage cans and
No.
whatever. He picks up my great grandmother, and all I can remember seeing was her feet sticking out of his mouth, bouncing back and forth.
No.
Yes, he ate my great grandmother. I had this horrible, terrible, terrible nightmare, and it was so vivid. The next morning, my mom says, "Go out and tell your dad lunch is ready." He was out mowing the yard. I
No.
was terrified. I literally took and walked out. Mom didn't know what was wrong with me. I'm like, "I don't want to." She goes, "No, go tell your dad." She didn't know what was. I didn't tell her anything that I had this terror I had that King Kong was out there was going to eat me.
Oh
I didn't
God.
worry about my dad on the lawnmower, I guess, but I was terrified. So I go out and I'm literally hugging the wall, my back up, hugging the wall, walking around the wall. And I see my dad and I yell at the top of my lungs, trying to get his attention to eat lunch. I was terrified. That movie terrified me as a child. And I say I was a child. I was probably 9, 10 years old. So I wasn't, a toddler. I mean, I
Yeah.
was old enough to just know that it was not real. But
Right.
it was so vivid to me that,
But they did it so well with
yes,
practical effects. And I know the scene, I know the exact moment you're talking about.
yes,
And the thing was that I don't know if you know this, but the rating system for Hollywood movies had not come in yet when they
yes.
made that movie. So they were able to get away with that. But I mean, it was for me, to let you, so you understand, I know exactly the scene you're talking about. There was chewing involved. Chewing.
I might have blocked that part out. I might have to watch it again. Just yeah.
Oh, don't. Okay, don't watch it. Don't. You'll get a nightmare. Don't do it. No, no,
I'll
no,
be
no.
afraid to leave the house even more so.
Yeah, no, don't do it. Okay, there was chewing of the human involved.
I could yeah.
Mhm.
Well, didn't the rating system didn't what movie it was Bonnie and Clyde. Isn't that what started the rating system?
No,
Them
no,
two.
the rating system came about around 1935. So it's very old. It's very old.
Oh, okay.
And that I mean there was a lot of nudity involved between 1929 and 1935. A lot of nudity.
Mm.
And certain people decided to make a stink about things around 1936. And that is where we start getting a rating system. And then the rating system starts dying down around Bonnie and Clyde, around the late
Uh-huh.
1960s. And because the Hollywood system could not really maintain itself at that time
Mhm.
with what they were doing. This goes back to all the stuff that people at Midnight Edge talks about. Tom, hello, Tom. Cleopatra and overblown budgets and
Mhm.
overblown promotion systems. And I mean, I don't even want to talk about this much anymore because that's not what Dadman's channel and you and Dadman are a co-channel. That's not what this is about. We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about happy stuff and fun stuff
Mhm.
and creative stuff. And no, we don't want to talk about how Hollywood fucked up. That's the
Yeah.
other channel's onus. That is,
They do that on the you
yeah,
just know they
that's
do.
their responsibility. That's what they
Yeah.
do. We don't have to do that
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, let me do this real quick because we kind of blew through and passed Doctor Who, but Buddy Hepburn shared a link with me where you can see Doctor Who on Pluto TV out there.
Yeah,
Oh.
and also a lot of archive.org. I will share links with anyone who wants it, but also I would like to say I really like the fact that Daisy is a sci-fi fan. It's very
Yes,
clear.
she
She's a
is.
sci-fi fan.
Well, hungry because let me tell you, Daisy and I we're doing a shows, movie shows once a month on the last Wednesday of the month. Daisy and I are, and one of the areas has been, she said, is the sci-fi stuff. And
Mm.
although this Wednesday night at 8 p.m., I am going to be with Daisy talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first of the
Fantastic.
only 3 Indiana Jones movies. We
And
might look
also,
at 4 if
I
I
get the
feel.
impression that Daisy likes some of the Hammer horror stuff, but also,
Well, let's
just
look
so
at. We'll catch up with the twit, the chat. Gajora is a Gajora, and buddies like Gamera. Hey, Gamera. And
Gamera, yeah, I know about Gamera. If Dadman wants me to talk about Gamera, I'll talk about Gamera. But
yeah, I just was go get up. But yeah, let's talk about it then. I mean, we got people out here that want to talk about it. They're throwing in the chat. Oh, look, they're talking about Godzilla -1. So she's looking forward to that, and she's a huge sci-fi fan. So
okay.
hey, so talk. Go ahead. Let's go there. I don't
I
mind.
gotta compliment people in the chat. You know me. I got to do that.
Hmm.
Because every one of us who became a comic book artist or a television person, etc., we were once the people in the chat. So I got to show respect to Daisy. Now, the thing with Daisy is she understands the giant monster stuff. She understands the sci-fi stuff. She understands the kaiju stuff. And I have to show respect to that. She understands the difference between Gamera and Gojira and also Godzilla, because I hate to say this, but a lot of people in America didn't understand the Godzilla thing, and it was pronounced in a way that was received audibly as Godzilla. But when people who were Japanese in the original 1954 Japanese version of the film said it was Gojira, Gojira. And that was even a joke that was made in the 1998 film, which I hate.
Is
I
that the Matthew
despise.
Broderick one?
Oh God, I hate that movie. I hate that movie.
Okay, just checking.
Tell us how you feel. Really, I'm concerned.
Thank you, Mrs. Damman. Thank you. But I mean, okay, I don't hate all of it. I don't hate all of it because there was a certain little redheaded woman who came from News Radio who I loved, who was in the Godzilla film. Oh yeah, she's delightful. But the thing was that with the Gamera films and the Gojira films, they were in competition because they came from different studios. They came from different studios. And Gamera got heat in America because they had an idea that was very relevant to the time in the late 60s, which was, can we have a giant monster who is friendly towards children? That is a big concept. That is a big concept. And they followed through with that. And so Gamera became known as the giant monster who was the friend to all children. And that happened before Godzilla followed suit. And I think that actually is, for families and traditional relationships, I think that's a wonderful thing. And I've got no problem with it.
Let me jump in real quick here to say hell and good morning to Maddie's daddy. Good morning,
Hello,
folks.
Maddie's daddy.
Yes, and we're talking about all kinds of stuff. So hope you can hang because we are not talking sports ball. But hey, we got the great hungry boy, and the missus has graced us with her planet, her presence. JT is coming up out of the water and lurking again. But listen, as I said, there is thunder in the background that we have bad weather moving in. So if we get if we glitch, it will go. Do I have a battery? I don't think I have the battery backup on here, but if it goes out, it goes out, folks. I just want to say thank y'all for being here. Don't plan stopping.
If it goes out, I might still be in because I've got a backup.
We all know that they want to hear you more than me, and that's okay.
You just can come in here and I'll give you my headsets.
Oh no, I think
I know nothing about. I mean, I know Godzilla. I know some of the names. But,
exactly.
Darling, do you mind if I call you darling? Do you mind?
Me?
Yeah.
Me, Noah. No, oh, me or Dad Man? No, no, I'm sorry.
Oh,
no, I don't
Dun,
mind
dun,
at all.
dun, dun.
No, I don't
I hear the
mind.
banjos now.
Darlin. I find it very respectful to a knowledgeable woman. Okay, I like Darlin. But how many Godzilla films have you seen?
I might have seen one or two. I mean, and I couldn't even tell you what they are. I've actually found a couple DVDs of them. Well, Godzilla meet, they're the not. Let's see. But I have not really watched a lot of them, so I
Okay.
do not. I don't know a lot of them.
Okay. Do you mind subtitles?
I love subtitals.
Oh,
Subtitles don't bother me at
I
all.
hate subtitles because I want him to talk so I can close my eyes and go to sleep listening to him. But
All I watch is subtitles. I very seldom watch a show that's in English.
right.
wait, no banjos, no banjos. That got Daisy
I
laughing out
have,
there.
let's see, I have Godzilla versus Destroy. Oh, these are newer ones. This is from
Yeah.
95, it says.
I
Yeah,
know.
these look like they're newer ones. They're not the old ones. Let's see what the other
Okay.
one is I have. I got a
In
95 and a 2000. Godzilla versus Megasaurus.
oh God, no, Megagyrus, no. Okay, I mean it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Okay, but the thing is, it's like the Universal horror movies where you got the Mummy and Frankenstein and
Uh-huh.
Dracula, and then we see the iterations in the 50s, and then we see the iterations in the 70s, and there's so much of a change in the way things are presented. So I gotta set you up with some links, my madam.
Yes, yes.
I gotta set you up with some links because you are going to love the stuff from the mid 50s to late 50s to the 60s. You are going to love this stuff, and it is so different to the stuff you've seen. So different. But I will warn you. I will warn you. Okay, because I love you and I respect you. The thing is, the original Gojira film, 1954, is very hard to take. It's very hard to take because it is a metaphor for Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Mm,
It's a metaphor for that. So I want you to watch that. I want you to watch that. But it is, even though the technology is very limited and it's all practical, it's a hard film to take. It's a
mm,
hard film to take. And then you see the progression to the other Godzilla films. And then you see Godzilla becoming a friend to mankind. And I like a progression. I enjoy a
mhm.
progression. It's fine. But you have to respect where the original story comes from. Just like when you and Dad Man are talking about stuff that happened with the Civil War, you show respect to where that came from.
Oh,
You know what I
yes.
mean?
Hmm.
I'm
Yes.
sorry if I talk too long.
Because if you don't, I mean, you got to know where something comes from,
Right.
where it started, and to appreciate. Yes, I
And
understand that.
horror films come from that because they're a translation of the horror that we as a culture or any culture came from. Right. So I have a big respect to horror films or science fiction films where they're trying to like make a story out of what we went through. And I think that is a very noble effort. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Oh,
And
they have it on Internet Archive.
yeah, you found it already.
Ah, searching while you're talking. Yeah, we're
You
gonna.
beauty. As we say in Australia,
We're,
you beauty. Oh, you
we're
legend. I love
yeah, we're
you.
gonna bookmark that one. There, we got it. I have found so I like to say I love the Internet Archive. I love
Yeah,
it
wonderful.
she's always on the lookout for that stuff.
I got so many things to share with you and Dad, man.
because I'll take that and then I'll put it on a DVD so
Yeah,
that if it ever goes away, um,
but we gotta save. We gotta
I
save,
gotta
honey. We gotta
try to
save.
save some of that old stuff. I throw them on a DVD to have to if like I say if someday it goes away, um,
I know what you mean.
at least I'll have a copy.
Now I gotta ask you. Can you handle the late 1960s, early 1970s hippie stuff? Can you
Oh,
handle that?
it doesn't bother me.
I
Okay.
can't. I can't. I hate. Get a job, you hippie. Sorry.
He's so funny.
Okay, Dad, man. All right.
So
Okay.
don't
so-
recommend it to him.
Okay. I will recommend one of my favorite Godzilla films to you, and I will share you the link. Okay. Okay. Godzilla versus Hedorah, which in America got translated and dubbed into Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
This is an amazing fucking film. This is so out there. This is so wrong, but so right that you will love it. And even though Dadman thinks he won't like it, okay, he will love it.
Okay, I might. We'll see.
Well, I'll make him watch it.
There you
I
go.
heard that tone in your voice, dude. You're like, all right.
No, there are a lot of times.
Oh no, I started trouble out there. Go ahead, Mrs. JD Kirk, it's an ancient internet archive Gojira. And then JD Kirk points and shouts, Daisy, excuse me, Dad man, I'm a flower child, sir.
Ah, Daisy.
Darn tootin', get off my couch, put that cigarette down and get to work. JD Kirk. You guys are awesome.
Daisy, I am a child of hippies. And that's probably why I'm a little bit conservative. But I'm a child of hippies. I got you. And I'm so glad.
You know,
you're-
my mom said she goes, I couldn't get involved in all that stuff. You know, all this hippie stuff. She goes, I was too busy raising a family.
I love that. I mean, I'll be honest. Okay, my mom was a hippie, but she was a good mom, and she put everything into raising me and my family. All right. So the thing was,
Can y'all hear the thunder?
You're gonna laugh at this, Mrs. Dadman. Okay. And she said, "You complain about hippies, but I'm hippie." And I said, "Mom, you were only half a hippie." Because you know she had the food on the table. She made sure that we were getting to school. She made sure we had the clothes on our backs. She made sure everything needed to happen. And I'm sorry, but you know that's only half a hippie.
They didn't totally check out.
Right.
Yeah,
on.
that interference noise is thunder. That is what's
Yeah,
about
it's,
to blow up.
I heard that.
it's major thunder here.
Yep, it's right overhead. It won't be long. I put something for you two in the private chat. So
I always keep forgetting to look there.
yeah, I know it happens. I look up half the time and I'm waiting to see if somebody's told me that they're gone or something. But yeah, the interference. Yeah, hopefully it'll be out in a few minutes. And hey, Hungry, we got a fan of your laugh, I think, out here.
Castle. Oh my God, Sita. Oh my God.
I know.
Oh. You know, the thing is, between you and Daisy,
Mhm.
I know I'm doing the good work, and you guys.
Yes.
Know what I mean.
Oh, dude, I keep calling you back. I keep tweeting you. I'll message you all kind of times of the day. So hey, it's working. Yeah, and I sent you this, if you can check the private chat real quick, Hungry. Yeah, yeah, that thunder's so bad that I turned the air up a few degrees. So
Yeah.
because it's pop, which means there's lightning. There's actually purple and whites, and that's coming near us.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just
Hopefully
should
it'll
be
just pass
it
through.
should be too quickly. So
Well, you never know with our company, our electric company. Sometimes, I mean, I'm surprised the power hasn't gone out.
I know. I
Usually
mean,
it goes out. You know, the wind blows and it goes out.
yeah, exactly. That happened one day. I was doing a stream, and I think, do you remember the 24-hour stream?
Oh yeah, right before
I
you
was
went
just about to hit go live and the power bumped for like seconds. And all it was a little bit of thunder out there. That's all it was. You know,
Well, we
it was
just need to
breezy.
get back. We just need to get battery backups for everything, but
Yeah.
they're expensive.
I thought I
I
had.
get scared for you guys though, because I mean the thing is you live to use American
Yeah.
terms.
And Hungry, did you see what I sent?
Yeah, I saw what you sent. I saw what you sent. I like it. I'm down. I'm
Okay.
down. But the thing is, you live in hurricane country, and that's American terminology. And here, that's cyclone country. I live in cyclone country.
You know, I would rather live in hurricane country than tornado country
Yeah, fair enough.
because a hurricane, at least you have a couple days, at least, you know, at the max, you know,
Yeah.
you have no, you know, you might have weeks notice that it might be coming your way and you can prepare. A tornado, you hear a siren.
Yeah.
You know, you're like shit. Let's get in the basement or get in wherever tornado. I'm not having lived in a tornado zone. I don't know if they have special rooms or
I
cellars or
believe
what
they
they
do
do.
because the way I follow weather, like in the Midwest, like Kansas, all that, they have their cellars to go down Oklahoma and things. They have the tornado warning signs too.
Well,
So
our kids were up in Dollywood, and didn't they
Oh,
have a tornado warning there? That man,
mhm.
they heard them all in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So they're not supposed
Yeah.
to be texting anybody. And of course,
Oh,
my kids are telling us exactly what's going on, and we're like,
and
really? Okay.
Daisy likes your laugh also. Hungry. Apion, hey, hell to you, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. And then JT Kirk says, "Tornado country, you have the added risk of getting sucked up by witches." Oh gosh, Wizard of Oz.
Da, 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 da,
Hey,
da,
we're
da,
we're
da,
back
da,
up
da,
to
da.
14 great
Now
people here with us.
that music was
Yeah.
the pedal music during the tornado scene in Wizard of Oz when you see that not the wicked witch, but the mean lady on her bike riding da 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 in the tornado. That's why I did that music when he said sucked up by witches.
Oh, okay.
It was
Thank
a
you.
it was a
See,
Wizard of
that's
Oz
that's why I
reference.
say she's got all the class and she knows all this stuff. I don't. Now,
I don't
see,
know all of it. I
the-
just
I can remind you of stupid stuff from SpongeBob or Team America World Police, but
Team
SpongeBob.
America. Yeah.
but yeah, coming and say the money every day, yeah, America. I love just, dude. I tell you what, can we get into that for just a minute? I mean,
Oh,
I,
God.
I
Team
just,
America.
yeah, just for a minute. I mean, I
You can.
do want to hit. Hungry Boy and I will never see eye to eye on SpongeBob because I do have an appreciation for SpongeBob and I like SpongeBob. I really do because it's mindless. But you know what? Still, we talked about relating to characters. I can relate to SpongeBob and Patrick more than most of these Hollywood actors and actresses. So there is some redeeming value in SpongeBob,
Oh,
my
you're
friend.
funny.
Well, I'm kidding. You're talking about. Hey, Zax, we don't know what the hell we're doing right now. We've been going for almost 3 hours. I don't know. We're like we're bouncing all over the place, but good to see you this afternoon. And then Daisy and Fly Monkeys Fly.
I love the fact that Zax is here. I love that.
Oh man, I know. I had Pop Culture Minefield on, and he has some standard greeting for Zax too. So it's like, oh gosh, it's hilarious. Well, we got 15 great people here. Hey, share it out with everybody else. We're still 4 away from 350, but who knows? Just hit that like button. But spending time with you guys, an impromptu stream today for you late arrivers. If you haven't seen the tweet, the reason why we are here today, and the missus has lovingly, gratefully coming in as a bonus to me and Hungry.
Yes, thank God.
Yes, exactly. Thank God. Yes, exact. Bro, hug back to you. Bro, hug back to you. Words and pictures. But yeah, Hungry Boy and I were so mad with Tweety Bird today because of all the damn limitations of these things and all. I'm in part of 4 or 5 different groups because of gaming, and you just connect with people. And then supposedly I keep getting timed out on messages, so we decided we're going to come out here. We're going to be our smart ass, passive aggressive self and say what we want to a few times, but then be positive. Well, And then this is immersed in a 3-hour glorious crusade with the missus and you guys here hanging with us. So, and now we've talked about all kinds of topics. So, hey, oh my gosh. JD Kirk says he's got 1,500 miles away and you got a house shuddering from the thunderclap. Yes, that is right overhead. That is right overhead right now. So hopefully that will be gone in just a minute. So, and JT Kirk, I've responded to you if you wanted to check that back.
I got to bring up something else.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I stopped myself in the middle of all that diatribe. See, I got lost like that. I do that all the time.
That's okay.
So,
but the thing is with tornadoes,
yeah.
I am a big fan of Bill Paxton. God rest his soul.
Game over, man. Game over.
Exactly. And he was in a tornado film. So,
Was it Twister?
Yes, Twister.
Yep. The Flying Cow.
Oh, I love Twister. Oh, and I love almost every movie he's in, but the fact of the matter is you guys are going through a little bit of weather right now. And I sit there and I think, oh, I wish the soul of Bill Paxton was right along with you with what you're going through. I love Bill Paxton. God rest his soul.
I do too. What's funny, when I was at university in '88, or '89, they had like the old Apple Macintoshes or something. There was an old generation computers. They had one of the sound effects of the "Game Over, man, Game Over" played into it back then. See that it's what's happened is I got cut off. I was probably one of the first though. Of your boy Friday night.
Are they aware of when you say bird stuff? What you're talking about?
Yeah, talking about Twitter. Yeah, about the Twitter app that cuts off users and DMs, and I didn't send 500. There's no way I could have. I sent a lot, but and it's just this daily thing. And I was probably one of the first because Hungry Boy was on the stream the other night when I came in with it.
Okay, apparently they have a limit on the amount of DMs you could do.
Yeah.
But because you are, so we're kind of figured out because you're in a bunch of groups and there's a lot of DMs that you're receiving there. It must be receiving and sending DMs. Apparently that you
because we had
once you get 500, you're blocked from sending any more DMs that day.
We had a good friend of the channel that left a good group of ours because of that very reason, and that's where I first heard about that because it's just crazy. So, and here talk about the rebel of all rebels against the Tweety Bird himself. It's a great Whoopa Troopa. Whoopa. This is actually, I have said that I have put my Discord expert private consultant on notice that I might actually get Discord. So that's how frustrating it is.
I like the Whoopa Troopa. I like it.
Whoopa's a great guy. Hey, great football guy. But yeah, so that's how this whole stream started. We're 3 hours later, and we are about to have another guest join us. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see you. And Buddy Discord's better. You know what I like with Buddy with Discord? The problem is when I have games from I don't think I can integrate it with the PS4. I don't know how that works and stuff. So, but on these, I just don't know how to integrate it with streaming. If I did, I could, but I like being a guest using Discord because I hate wearing the headsets, and that's kind of cool. So we got a lot of Discord fans here in the chat. Oh,
I mean,
Ceda's not been on Twitter since June. Yeah, you probably haven't missed much, but when you come back, it's going to be kind of interesting. So
Daisy and Sitha are saying a lot of very smart things in this chat. A lot of very smart.
Oh, they're very brilliant. You guys in this chat are just amazing. I mean, I learn from you guys. That's one of the reasons I love doing this is I'm learning a lot of stuff about the world, other cultures, a history of stuff, from doing these types of streams. And it's really amazing, and I find it fascinating, Let's see, Buddy says you can stream video and the voice channels on Discord, but you're going to want to boost the servers. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now, Dad Man can barely function on the two platforms he's on. So one step at a time. One step at a time. And Zwoopa comes in saying they say the smart things. So I counter by saying all the dumb things.
That's not true.
Well, Whoopa likes trolling out in chats and pulling people's change at time. It is also wonderful. But hey, let me go back to, so that's a history for everybody. A brief catch up with it. But I was going on another rabbit trail with SpongeBob and but God, Spongehead and Patrick, we may have to have a stream just for that, for me and you, because I will argue that there are some merits and advantages over SpongeBob compared to the current stuff and coming out of Hollywood. And,
dude, no problem, but it's 4:07 a.m. where I am.
Oh, you gotta go. Oh man,
I'm gonna stay here, but I'm just saying I don't want to talk about SpongeBob at 4:07 a.m.
Well, I think people have been putting me up to a 48-hour stream. Well, that would be a topic for at least 20 of those hours. And if Mexican MMM is still here, the other part could be taken up by my hatred for Darth Maul. But
that's what I was going to say. Your 20 hours should be Darth Maul.
Yes, exactly.
But why did you bring that up? I'm an illustrator. I despise the design of Darth Maul. Why did you have to bring that up?
Well, we'll save that for another time, because I'd like to know that, because I wanted to touch on this since we brought up Team America.
Yeah. Okay.
And we said it earlier, I think, with the Harryhausen, with the Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Marionettes.
Oh, Super Marionation. They basically took that from the Jerry Anderson stuff with Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, but they did that so well, and it was so magnificently done. I don't like the puke scene. I know it's a GIF.
Yeah.
But I really admire that movie, and I admire everything the South Park boys do, because they show respect to the stuff that they like, but they put a spin on it. Like the Venture Brothers. I love the Venture Brothers, and I love Archer, and I love a lot of the stuff that is looking at the 1960s stuff and the 1970s stuff and says, well, we can kind of put a spin on it. And I love it. So Team America, I'm all in, bro. I'm just pushing my chips on the poker table to the center of the table. Okay. Like, yeah, I got 5 aces. Fuck you.
But what's crazy is they did stuff with puppets I didn't know was possible.
Exactly. But that was designed.
Well, I knew. Before I watched the movie first, and before Dadman watched it, and I said, I don't know how you're gonna like this, but did I watch it first?
I thought we watched it together. We both sat and you're like, oh my,
they
did stuff with puppets that were not.
No, I called it puppet porn. That's right. I said, that's like the. I was telling someone else about it. I said, if you watch it, understand there's puppet porn in here. And they're like, what?
I did not know those things were possible with puppets. And on that great note, we have got a great friend of the channel, Mr. Heckler of Everywhere and all the good chats. Damn it, Mark is his favorite quote. So, Mark, if you're out there lurking, damn it, Mark. It's making his debut on this channel, the great not the captain himself, but hey, it's the great JT Kirk. Welcome, JT
damn
Kirk.
it, Mark.
Hey,
damn it, Mark.
Damn it, Mark.
There you go.
Jeez.
You're not even here, Mark.
This is a good night, JT.
Hey, how's it going, Hungry? How's it going, Dadmans?
I love you, bro.
Doing good,
Oh,
doing
my
good.
God.
I mean,
Thank you, Mrs. Deadman, for keeping this whole stream classy. These
I'm
two really
supposed
need
to
it.
be working on the show for tomorrow, but I'm here instead.
So, you picked a really great topic for me to come in on, by the way, the puppet noncery. I don't know.
But JT, the thing is, you and I interact a lot in the streams, okay? And you were one of the funniest mofos I've ever met, and thank God for you. Thank you. I'm
glad at least somebody's laughing at my jokes, because the missus had about enough, and so all my friends. So it's good someone's still laughing.
You have an outlet for your jokes now.
Exactly.
That's like I'm so grateful that Dad Man does this because then it just doesn't bother me as much.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Well,
like
you know,
go stream.
well, you told me
Miss-
for many
Mrs.
years.
Dadman, Mrs. Dadman, I wish to hell that we had people in Hollywood like JT writing the
Mhm.
sitcoms.
Oh,
Yeah.
why, thank you, Hunger Man. Thank you. You're gonna make me blush virtually, I guess.
No, seriously. I mean,
I
you were
agree.
honestly funny. You were honestly funny, but you get the sci-fi stuff, you get the genre stuff, and you got your references. Okay, you got your cred, bro. You got your cred.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And so I'm gonna shut up, but I have to compliment the new guest. And bro,
Oh my gosh!
so
Yeah, it's the
glad
first.
to see you.
So Dad Man, I had
Yeah,
a question
sure.
for you. I guess it's for anybody here, but who is your favorite Team America World Police character? For me, it's either Matt Damon or Kim Jong Il. It's hard.
The whole
on what day of the week.
the whole movie, the whole movie. Oh wow! I thought. Oh man. Mm.
Oh, I'm so bad with questions like this because, as I've said before, when I watch a movie and I enjoy it and I love and when I'm there, I'm so into the movie, and maybe 30 minutes after the movie, I'll remember lots of details. But as time goes on, if I haven't watched it again, I just remember that I really love that movie, and I might remember a couple key scenes, but that's it. But I do. I loved. I cannot say his name. The North Korean dude.
Kim Jong
And
Il. Yeah,
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 I can't. I
the
have trouble.
last dictator. Yeah.
My southern accent makes me. I just can't. I try to say it and then I can't say it.
Well,
And
the
Matt
way they
Damon.
pronounce Alec Baldwin, I don't know if any of us can say it, lest we get canceled right off of YouTube.
Yes.
Yes,
And
yes, I know that.
I love the Actors Guild. I
Oh,
love
Yes,
the
yeah,
Film
the
Actors
Actors
Guild.
Guild.
Film Actors
Yes,
Guild.
we're,
Yes.
that's, oh god, oh my gosh, I got to think about that. Um, um, wow. Let's see. I've never thought that far because like I said, the first time that movie, I was just so overwhelmed and it was almost traumatized. It was almost traumatized because I'm like, did they really do that? Yeah, they did do that. Oh, Buddy Hepburn, Spotswood. Yes, that was a good one. That one. Oh, yeah, Appian.
Yeah.
That's another movie. Yeah, but
Oh, Hans
gosh,
Bricks. Yeah, Hans
yeah.
Bricks. That's a
I
good
liked
one too.
almost any of the
Well,
caricatures
the
of the
problem.
actors that they did.
Well, see, the problem with me is
I
that the obvious one would be by Matt Damon. It's golly, that just so all good. Uh, I mean, I like that they put through in even the little minor people like Janine Garofalo and stuff in there too. Just like, you really have to search for her career. She was hot at one point in the '90s or earlier, and then they threw her in the movies there. Uh, I I think I like the God. I forgot what his name is. The I like the way they picked on intelligence, bad intelligence. But was
Yeah.
it? I guess Spotswood. Yeah, Spotswood. I think is the one, as Buddy Hepburn said. Yeah, the guy that pulled them all together. I liked him, and some of the lines that guy had were just like, oh gosh, you did definitely. We'd have to definitely do this after 10 o'clock at night to really go into some of the stuff that came out of that movie. But I would say I think with
we
Spotswood.
should do a whole show just on this movie.
Oh man,
Oh, you definitely could do at least
Uh,
one. And they have so many references to pop culture or current events, but in I guess, a funny way that you have to laugh at. Kind
Well,
of
let
like
me-
South Park.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say something real quick, but definitely, Whoopa, if you've never seen it, you might enjoy it, but definitely do not let any of your little one, your siblings or youngsters around anywhere near us. Okay, near you when you're watching it. There's no getting around this one. This is like it's full. It's which is funny. I contrast this to when the South Park guys did the uncut South Park movie in the theater when it was not bleeped and all. That one fell flat to me. That one just seemed different. It did not come off as funny or as different. It was almost like too just a little bit of overwhelming. Oh, hey, hungry. Hey, good. Hey, but yeah, it came off a little bit too much. This one was like perfect, and one of the things I've always loved with the South Park guys is that they seem to honestly have. I mean, not only that they pick fun of both sides legitimately, and they're consistent and they do it, and they picked on some people that never get picked on, but that they seem to have the most balanced and realistic situation assessment of the world at the moment. That through comedy, it's really at the end, it's like, yeah, this is what everything is. This is how these people act. This is how these people act. And this is where we're really at. At least that's what I thought with it.
I love this. I'm looking at the Team America wiki page. Just for fun.
As am I. I'm there too.
And I love it. I love villains. Kim Jong-il, Chechen terrorists, and Michael Moore.
Michael Moore. Yes, I think that had to be one. Yes.
I just love that. I love the category there.
God.
And this movie was released in 2004, so you have to think the script started in probably, well, who knows the rate that they're able to write scripts for South Park, but 2003, 2004 is definitely the time period, so you have to, put on your memory cap or go read about history if you're younger, and figure out, what was going on back then. One of the groups I do not think that they would pick on today was the opening scene with Rent, the Rent parody.
Yeah.
That would anger Twitter to levels, you have not seen.
Anger Twitter.
I forgot the opening scene with the Rent parody. Rent's a musical, right?
Yeah. Rent's a musical. I can't remember the year it came out, but it was pretty darn close.
Oh, it was the 90s. It was the 90s, and it was incredibly popular, but it was incredibly, shall we say, Portland, Berkeley, San Francisco.
Okay. Well, all I know is the one thing that keeps sticking with me with this stupid movie was that now in Fortnite, there's a guy for one of the skins I've got, Mr. Meeseeks from one of the I want to say Ren and Stimpy, but it's the boy and the kid, Rick and Morty. The Rick and Morty. He was in one episode. I keep calling me instead of I keep calling Mr. Mistopheles because of that description of what happened to the one actor, but because of Mr. Mistopheles of the one team member. It was like so because of the Team America, I keep calling that character Mr. Mistopheles just for the funny fun of it. Yeah.
Well, it says that Rent was released and the movie in 2005, but it was we just lost power.
There went the power. Hey.
It just came back.
Yep, I'm back. I'm still on.
Okay, all right.
Ooh.
Am I here? Can you
Hello?
hear me? Yep.
Yeah, we can.
You take command for a sec. You take command for a second. I've got to get my monitors realigned. So.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, Rent, it was a movie in 2005, but it was also a stage play before that.
Yeah, that's what I was
So it's
talking
been-
about, because it was stage play a long time before that, and it was very popular in New York and
Mhm.
California and here in Australia. And I mean, okay, all right. I mean, I like stage plays. I like musicals. I'm a big Jesus Christ Superstar fan and Godspell fan and a whole bunch of other musicals. But
Oh, sure.
if the message of the musical is not something I like, I'm not buying into it.
Right. Yep. I like music.
Can you describe what that Rent parody was, or why it was a Rent parody? Just very vaguely.
Well, it opened up the movie with Gary, the main character, I guess, or one of the main characters, starring on the stage, and they were singing about how everyone on stage had a certain autoimmune deficiency syndrome.
I got you. Oh yeah. Oh boy. There's only one more disease that could probably cause a quicker panic than that. Yeah.
Damn, Dad Man.
What's that? I just when it hits me, it finally hits me. Like, okay, I got it now. It's just I forgot about how it opened. It'd been a while since I've seen it, so I kept thinking it was the the scene in the desert. But yeah, oh my gosh, yes. Sorry, that's like, yeah. Oh,
See, that's what I was
hilarious.
talking about earlier. How you'd be afraid to make to make certain jokes now because, like you say, it'll set off the Twitter fire.
Yeah.
Um,
Or even the platforms between Twitch, YouTube,
yeah.
all of them, because it's like, it's like, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, I got it. I'm slow, but when I get it, I get it. But yeah, because it's like we can't laugh at ourselves, and this is like you were saying earlier, the whole point that comedians can't be free to be what they are or what they were. I
And the
mean,
whole
can you
purpose
imagine?
of a comedian is to make to make funny commentary a lot of times on current events, affairs, uh, trends, and you can't do that if you're going to upset someone to the point where you lose your job.
Oh yeah,
So okay, no more. Let's talk funny. Team
oh
America.
yeah,
Team America.
Huh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I know. See. If I was on somebody else's stream, I probably, if they were okay, I'd do it. But I'm a little more shy around here. I try to be a little more there at times. So hey, but hey, yeah. Oh, but but like I said, I really enjoy what they do because they go after everybody, and I really have always thought that they do a great job on assessing everything between the film actors, even the military side, just kind of every,
They're
and then
equal opportunity offenders.
yeah, and what I'm trying to figure out how I phrase this right now,
Good luck.
because really, I'm trying to let's see. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm just working to phrase it without laughing and blushing.
You're holding the Mason-Dixon line, my bro.
The D's, the A's, and the just and how they all need each other. They all relate. Oh God, that's like. Oh man, if we were 11 o'clock at night and I'd put full warnings up to people, we could talk more. But I'm trying to talk veiled and be cool. But you guys get the point. It's analysis like that really, and I tell you, that really, to me, a lot of people point it as juvenile humor or it's whatever, but it tells a lot of truth. It really was a great assessment when you think about it. It's just put in a very crude manner.
Yeah.
And I think that's where great comedy is. And I think a lot of the comedy, and even a lot of our serious movies, there's a point, there's a story to be told, there's something to be related to, and they don't do it. But,
I think sometimes like the humor, and you like they say they think it's childish, but I think it's actually brilliant because it's kind of you're there enjoying yourself, and then all of a sudden you go whack, you kind of get hit in the head with a truth or something, or or a thought, something to that you can ponder later, but you're having such a good time, it doesn't hurt. It's like giving honey with after you take that bitter medicine, you give someone some honey or a hard candy to kind of make it not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way it is that they give some of these truths, but then they couch it with a sweet candy or some honey where it's not so bad.
Right. Perfectly phrased. I mean, the thing is, we used to call it sugar coated.
Mm-hmm.
We used to call it that. And the thing is it goes back, and I know you and Dadman know All in the Family. Archie Bunker. And that was some of the most brilliant comedy that ever came out of America. Ever. And you had these hard truths that were being presented, but it was told through the brilliance of the comedy. It was sugar-coated, and we're fine with it. We're fine. And it gets replayed on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was such a bad thing, if Archie was such a bad thing, would it be replayed so often for decades?
I agree.
And I'm pretty sure I could probably find it on TV now if I went to all of those small time broadcast stations that are, the main number 0.7 or whatever.
Yes. Me TV.
Right. Right.
I just saw that recently when I had to go over to the tuner. It was like, where did all these points come into?
Oh yeah, they're great. Not to get too far off your topic, but
We
there's
have no set topic today. We're
We
going
have no
wherever it
topic.
goes. We're
There's
using the
channel-
force.
there's a channel called H&I that's based off of the main Fox station in my area, and that channel probably has all the greatest stuff that what was it before it was Spike TV. The station that was supposed to just show all stuff that men want to watch, but I mean, it's just good TV.
No.
Anyway,
I
it,
know the channel. Yeah.
you get Star Trek, the original series, at 8, TNG at 9, Voyager at 10, Deep Space Nine, then Voyager, then Enterprise. And if you're still up at 1 in the morning, you get Baywatch, and then I don't remember what goes in the morning, but you'll get MacGyver and Walker Texas Ranger in the afternoon. So you're sitting there, tongue's getting tied here on the stream. I know what Raquel means by stream brain now, but you could viably sit there all day and watch TV. And how many TV stations does anyone say that about anymore on broadcast television, right? So it's just cool. Yeah, Buddy Hepburn knows what I'm talking about. So if you have the bunny ears or an antenna, check out and see if you have it, because it's fun sometimes. Sometimes if you don't mind commercials, you just want something on in the background when you're making dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun thing to have. It's out of the past really now that everybody's on streaming and YouTube and stuff. It's an outmoded media format, or it's getting that way.
Well, it's amazing. Only one of our TVs is connected to the rabbit ears. Well, now it's a box, because you got to have the digital tuner that, which was interesting. But I forgot all about those, and those little CW used to be that. It used to be like a point channel, but it was had its own designation. But now the 3 different ABC channels, like we got 25.1, 25.2, 25.3. But that's and usually they have that. A lot of old programs I've seen, Gunsmoke and some of those on a few of those channels, just flipping the TV. But yeah, it's interesting to see how television has developed. That the more, even over the air, you've got more options than just 4 big networks. Remember growing up in the 70s and all, it was like it comes 2:00 or whatever. You had your late night shows at 1:30, and then all of a sudden you had the late news, and usually about 2:00, everybody signed off, had the national anthem and the flag up there, and then snow all night.
Yep, you get the little. I remember I had to do that sometimes.
Oh, dude, I remember, because I bounced back and forth from the United States to America. The American Eagle sign-off pattern. That's old. That's old.
That's
well,
old.
Well, Mrs., do you want to share any of that with that, about how you know about that, about putting those on?
No. I just used to work there. I just used to work in television.
Don't tell us.
And there's really nothing to tell. I was the one. I worked in the engineering department, so I was the one that sometimes put the commercials on. Don't blame me. Yes, the sound was louder. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
I admit that. I was trying to see what the Spike TV was, and they're saying that it was called the TNN, the National Network.
Mm-hmm.
TNN. I just was curious of.
Wait, TNN, the Nashville Network?
The National Network.
Oh, the National Network. Okay. The Nashville Network went to, I think, CMT, or some, I don't know. But there's been so many daggum pop-up cable channels and networks and stuff.
But yeah, I used to do that, and so I had to watch programming that I never ever wanted to watch in my life. But
Talking about an ultimate captive audience, you know.
yes, literally was. But we used to sign off, and you just would sign off. You know, you just were there, all that stuff. We used to actually, everything used to be on reels, and then we
Yeah.
went to had beta. We had everything went on beta, and now when I left, it actually started. Everything started going digital, and less people doing more work is what happened. So I left when it was a very optimal time. But this when I was there, they used to have things on 2-inch wide videotape,
Yeah.
and then it went down to 1 inch, and then it went to cassettes, the beta cassette tapes that we used. So it was we had to put little barcodes on them so they could read the commercials.
I
So kind of
remember
stuff.
that.
But like I say, after that, you know, when it started going digital, I had already left before it started. Everything started going digital,
Mm.
and then they allowed the stations companies to own two different stations. So we actually, out of the same building, ran two different channels, but one person was running the commercials and everything for both of them. I'm just glad I wasn't there for any of that.
Oh.
And
But
speaking of commercials, the change on those has been just absolutely enormous. I mean, I don't know how long ago you were in the TV business, but I remember a
20.
day they used to sell products
Yeah.
to people on TV.
yeah.
Nowadays, if at least in my TV market, which is a very big metropolitan area, you will only go back and forth between lawyers or prescription medications.
Mhm.
That is the only thing, and it doesn't matter if you're a dot channel or if you're, and the NBC flagship, right? That is all you will see, and it's an interesting thing because, I'm in my late 30s, so I was a kid of the 80s and 90s, and my
Yeah.
sister was up from the south to visit last week, and we could sing jingles of, food
Mhm.
products, toys, all kinds of things. I mean, I think that's the only reason the Barbie movie, well, I won't go into that, but that's a big determinant behind why the Barbie movie was made now, is
Yeah.
because millennials remember the
Right.
commercials. Now, will my kids know about any of that? No, not
Don't know about erectile dysfunction.
right. Right. Well, do
I
not take
remember-
the
Or
medication if
diabetes
you're allergic
medicine.
to it.
No, I
Yeah.
remember the first time I saw a feminine hygiene product commercial on air.
You killed me,
And
Miss
I was appalled. I'm like, why are they advertising? Why do they have to advertise this? You know? And now it's like, are you fresh? And yeah, I mean, it's everywhere now.
I went around there so my mom was about being fresh. It was like,
my eyes, Mrs. Dad, man, I got tears in my eyes. I'm having to wipe the tears away. That's so funny.
I
Well,
am
and
so
Mrs.
glad-
Dadman, you were saying everything was going to digital. I remember working as a college kid in the communications building at my university, and they hosted their PBS and NPR stations.
Hmm.
And I would work at the cafe, just as a odds and ends kind of job down the hall. And you would see maybe one or two people working that whole PBS station, and then
Yeah.
one person working the NPR station. I mean, and they were not big rooms, and they were not, it was inside of a building where they had classrooms and things too, in a
Right.
lecture hall, right?
Well, a
So
lot of them, you would air a 30-minute program. You didn't have commercials. So it
Mhm.
was, if you had to put that up and play it, you had 30 minutes to set up the next thing usually.
Mm.
But when they don't, when you're running commercials, I mean, even back then it was, every 5 minutes you're, running 4 commercials and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've lost it. I'm glad JT Kirk and the missus are here to keep the channel going.
Oh,
'Cause I've lost it.
sorry.
I know honey, but well, you hit it with that, but that was also, you were the perfect person to go into that topic with that type of commercial. I know
Sorry.
it. No, Hungry's dying over there with that.
I just remember that
It's
it's like, why? And you're right. Everything's and the disclaimers. They have to say them so fast and they're so small. Like, why even bother?
Do not take if you're allergic has to be my favorite.
I know, do not take it. Do not take aspirin if you're allergic to aspirin.
Our ultimate side effects, death.
But also, the thing that I love about what Mrs. Dadman and JT are talking about right now, because I am as old as fucking dirt. Okay. The thing was, there was a certain amount of commercials and commercial time you could have during a program, a television program. And we used to have a 29-minute or 27-minute sitcom, and now we're at a 19-minute sitcom, and it's got to be filled with commercials, and it's got to be harder for people who have to fill that time with commercials and do the engineering. And
Mhm.
I don't like the amount of commercial time, but I also really don't like the extra effort, the extra work that is going to go to people who have to put those commercials into the sitcom. I don't like it at all.
Well, I was trying to think. When I was there, if we had a 30-minute show, it started at the top of the hour. We always the ending commercials ran at 27:56 because you had to have a 4-second ID at the end. So
Right.
you had that time there, and then inside that, so your show is now 27. Let's say 12. We'll say 28 minutes, and then you had at least 2 sets of 2-minute commercials. 36, yeah, 2 minutes, so that's 4. So they used to be probably about 22, 23 minutes total show time, and then the rest was commercials. And I don't know if they've added to them, because like I say, I haven't watched American television
I have
for
to because
for
I'm watching.
years.
Yeah.
Well, sports
I-
is a different animal.
Yeah,
Sports
I
is a
do.
completely different animal with commercial breaks.
Well,
than,
yeah,
than
but
the TV
still,
show.
I want to say what Sita's point here, though. You know, said over there they don't show medicines, but oh my God, you watch any type of commercial break, it is either lawyers or it is some medicine. It's all
Yeah.
kind of diabetic medicine, or if it's the pill, or all that stuff. And occasionally you still get the fresh commercials too. It's like it's
Mhm.
medicine or lawyers. It's the two.
In a very rare car commercial. A
Yeah,
very
rare.
rare car
I
commercial.
used to remember when we used to do live car lot commercials live.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We would have a show, and we'd have, they'd bring our our live truck would be down there, and they would be, 30, give them the countdown, 30 seconds, man, they do their 30-second commercial, and they're hawking their cars, come on down. And yeah, and then they would go back to the show. So
And
yeah.
it really makes you wonder how much longer a lot of these networks will even still be on the air, because a lot of the local, your CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox affiliates, I mean,
Mhm.
at least where I am, many of them have gone out of business and said, you're going to have one for this half of the state and then one for the other. And that is it. In the way that these commercials are going, how much longer are legal firms
Mhm.
going to be willing to just dump the money into it? I mean, the drug companies have basically unlimited money, so they can just advertise to
Right.
anyone, anywhere.
But see,
Well-
some of the. I'm sorry, Mrs. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, like I say, I have not watched local television, and I got out of 23 years ago is when I left. I had my first child, and I stayed home. So I quit 23 years ago. So the trend I was seeing then, and like I say, I don't know now, because literally I really have not watched network television for 23 years. And I don't watch local news ever, because I think it's a travesty. But what they were doing then is they were adding more news. You used to you'd have the 6 o'clock news
Mhm.
here. And then you would go into the 6:30 would be the national news. Then they added a 5:30 show and a 5 o'clock show. So you had an hour and a half of local news, and then the half hour of network news. And then we did 2 game shows, and then we went into network television. I don't know if they've added more news in there because there's just not a lot of stuff locally to watch. A lot of the local programming is crappy. And the stuff that they buy are either, the Jerry Springer type of talk shows or, the only two game shows that I know of that have longevity are Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy in this country, you know,
Mhm.
but I just don't know where they're going to get their content for local programming because you have to fill, you have your network stuff, which is, I think, going by the wayside. So from 8 to, late night, that's that network, but then you have to fill everything else that time. And I just don't see how it's viable that they can keep it. I don't still see how they get the revenue to do it. And so the fact that, seeing stations closing down, that's why I think a lot of them are consolidating and we're
Right.
getting,
Right.
yeah,
Because haven't they gone to the hub module? Because used to with our stations, a station would, each station was independently owned, but it sounds like I guess you could have one corporation that owns a station and
they've
like
now allowed it where you could have, if it's like a, like I say, this was, I don't know how stuff has changed. I know that when I left not soon after, the station that we owned, if it was, you could have a major rated station and then you could buy one that wasn't, like NBC, ABC, CBS, and then you could buy like a Fox or a local affiliated station like with Fox or something where they weren't rated as high or something like that. I don't know all the logistics and legal stuff of it. I just know that, we have a station that they own an NBC station and they own a Fox station. And then we had one that owned the CBS and I think CW or something like that. I mean, they just kind of plop them all together and
Mm.
they use the same news stations and everything else. It's just very confusing.
And Dad, man, you mentioned sports too,
Mhm.
and I think that market is in even bigger trouble. I mean, we all have seen the news stories about ESPN constantly laying off staff and restructuring and whatnot. It is interesting to see streaming networks like Peacock and that start to come in and make these TV deals.
Mhm.
My alma mater is Michigan State, and they are big in football and basketball TV audiences.
Mhm.
If you're not a Big Ten conference person or you're not into college sports, those teams from Michigan State can be middle of the road, terrible, or go to the national title. It just depends on the year. But they will fill a 70,000 seat stadium for a
Mhm.
football game.
Right.
Maybe if they're good. If they're not, you might get
That's a
50
little
or
low.
something. But the first 4 games of the year, I can't watch. I
Yeah.
can't watch them because one's on Peacock, one's on the Big Ten Network. I think one's on Fox Sports, and then
Mhm.
I forget what network the fourth one is, but it isn't ESPN. But I'd have to get cable package and 2 streaming packages just to watch
Hmm.
the first 4 games of the year. Like you have to be kidding me. So
No,
as a result, I probably just might turn on the radio, turn on the old AM
old school.
mono, old
Old
school,
school.
and listen
Yeah.
to it because it's not worth it. And I don't even know all the bars around here that are, they hopefully have their corporate, overlords for the franchises that are working out deals, at Buffalo Wild Wings or Applebee's or
Mhm.
wherever to
Well,
get the
one of the
bars to be even able to show them, right? But your locals probably are going to pirate because they have to find a way, some way to get those games.
whatever they might pay for cable or whatever to be able to get whatever. A lot of the ones around here use Dish or the satellite companies in most of the sports bars I've seen. But it gets to, like you mentioned, Big Ten Network. These conferences are so big now, they're getting their own conference deals, which is adding more money to it. Fortunately, being in the SEC land here, we are blessed because I don't have to get that many different networks because it's usually either on. All I need to get is ESPN expanded stuff. I go through Sling TV and then get the add-on. because that gives me the SEC network and gives me all the ESPN channels. And the SEC has pretty much dominated ESPN's coverage. I could, if I was a fan from around the country, it could be kind of getting frustrated because there's so much more of the SEC than on TV than ever was. So for me, it's great. But if you're, it's hard to find the teams if you're the Big Ten or something like that. Your Big Ten, now that you mention it, you're lucky if I think Fox has its deal, but it's split in, I think, Big 10, Big 12. So, I mean, you might get one game a week on the big network. And if your game's not being covered by the Big 10 network and they can only cover so many games, you know, your team may not even be on it. I did not realize that they were going down to something like Peacock and things like that. But
I believe the opening game for that other school that is Maize and Blue, but I won't dignify them with naming them. I believe their first game of the season is on the Peacock network, and people are saying, "Oh, I'm covered. I have Comcast or Xfinity," but not everybody in the area gets Xfinity One because we have some. We have a patchwork of different cable providers. But Peacock, I believe, ended their free, Xfinity Peacock package unless you have, you're overpaying for their higher cable tiers and their faster internet. So a lot of, and like you said, if your game isn't on the Big Ten network, well, you're paying for free for all the weeks to the Big Ten network that your team is not playing there.
And I'm not sure if Whoopa's still with us or if he passed. I was going to say passed out, but if he, to your point, and Daisy also says it's becoming difficult to follow some sports because there are different streaming services. So which package do you get where you get them? One of the things Whoopa and I did the XFL show. This season, they returned this year, but the first early games of the season you couldn't really watch because it was like FX2. I mean, it wasn't even Fox. It was like FX, some sub network of something
or your region.
You're very lucky to get it. And sometimes now with some of those, they do these regional things. You may not get it, So, but like the XFL was the first few weeks. Finally, towards the end of the season, they got on ABC and ESPN for more exposure. But it's hard for some teams. And like I say, that's where as an SEC fan, I know we have it way too easy because between CBS, ESPN, as much as ESPN covers on the SEC for regular game times. I mean, it's if you're not the SEC, if you're ACC gets pretty good coverage, but like I knew the Big 10 and Pac-12 conferences don't get nearly as much. Sita is saying Roja Director shows all football free live. Sita, are you?
Is it American football or something?
I think with World Cups, I think Sita's talking about what we call soccer. So if it's World Football, I'm going to presume that you're talking what we call soccer, but World Football with that. So Daisy, oh, you naughty Daisy. All right, but
well, Netflix has now got it where you can't. Well.
Yeah, I was
the sharing password thing.
I don't know, but hey,
But we don't do that because that's not right.
I will tell you, Daisy Blossom's a secret sports fan out there. She likes her Giants and her 49ers. So, and Buddy said that their local packages gets all the A's, Giants, Sharks, and Niners games. We get most of the Stanford games too. That's kind of. We used to have something in the. Oh, okay. We used to have in this country on cable. Cable was a big thing, and all that. Which started off, but there were the super stations. There were two of them that I remembered of. There were the TBS out of Atlanta Turner Broadcasting System, which covered almost all the Braves games all season, and WGN out of Chicago, which carried all the Cubs games, which is how I became a Cubs fan. And then. Soon after we got married, they started messing around with that stuff and bringing in more sports packaging. And that's when I started getting out of baseball because I was not going to keep going for cable for WGN for like maybe 2 games a week, because it was starting to shift it to the national coverage, ESPN, and then buying the packages. So, and I'll tell you, the only reason why I buy a sports package now is because I love college football. It's the one sport I will do. I
Because
did
it's
get,
kind of hard to do a college football stream if you haven't watched the games.
yeah, kind of. And I got to have another hobby too, but
Yes, yes.
But it's getting to the point where if I have to have two cable, a cable package, a satellite TV package, and two different streaming packages just to watch the non-conference games at the beginning of the year, I either am just going to say, well, I guess I'll treat it like preseason and tune out, listen to it on the radio, which they make no money off of me there, especially on the radio station that they play it on around here. It's the same as the one that Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity used to be on and all that. So their commercials are, well, legal firms and medications, so they're not making any money off of me directly that way. I'm either going to tune out or it's going to start becoming cheaper to just go there on game day and buy tickets,
Yeah.
And that's saying something when you actually going to the stadium becomes the cheaper option. Which means you'll probably tune out to the detriment of the sport, which is just sad.
Dad, man, did you see?
I saw that. So with that, but and just the last point to JT Kirk right here, right now with that is, especially your first few games of the season, they become such either they're the games that opponents you don't even care if you watch. You should win by 55 points, and if you don't, you're mad, and if you lose, you're even madder. So why are you going to spend the money for it and all? And a lot of times they're not good games, and if they're good enough, that they'll be on TV. So, yep. All right, you know what I mean, JT? Because it's like you don't want to get beat by those silly little teams, the directional schools, and so exactly.
Well, it's happened before.
I know. Well, I love. You must have been happy when that little team from Appalachian State went and beat the Maize and Blue that year. That was.
So I was in college at the Michigan State's football stadium, Smart Stadium, right? And we were behind. I think we had a 1 p.m. start. They had a noon start. And I have never before or since heard the stadium that loud as when they announced that score.
It wasn't even your game, I know.
Yeah, it wasn't even our game. And I thought that stadium was going to crumble like the Coliseum on that day.
Absolutely.
I have never heard a crowd that loud before.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we're going to need to go ahead and wrap up. We had almost 4 hours with this on a very impromptu. Dad, man, JT, stay with me for a minute after we're done, if you don't mind. Folks, this is an honor. We had up to 17 people in the chat at one time. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Share it with other people, comment on the video out on, share it with other people, leave comments, all that stuff that hit the algorithm. If you haven't subbed, do so. Make sure you're still subbed. Ring the bell for notification. I'm almost at the point where I'm almost tweeting JT every time I go live just to make sure he gets the notifications. So it does happen. But hey, wanted to say thank you to everybody. Let me, we're getting some great streams. Thank y'all. Hey, not just me. Listen, this great Hungry Boy guy is so underrated, and he's a great voice that's underutilized everywhere here on YouTube. And it's always great when the Hungry Boy speaks. And he was so willing to come on spur of the moment just to help us. Started off with a rambling Tweety Bird thing, and we've made it a glorious show with all kinds of topics. Thank you, Hungry Boy.
Oh, thank you so much. And it was a wonderful rambling road that we traced down tonight, and I really love it. So thank you.
And I'm glad you got to talk to the missus for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Let's go.
So
the village.
The
village.
Exactly. A little taste of what's to come down the road, my friends. So with Pillage the Village, August 11th. But also, JT Kirk, first time on the show. We appreciate you being here.
Oh, well, thank you. It was an honor being on here. I love being a member in the chat. When you all are playing Fortnite or whatever it is, or talking about food or your trips, it's always amazing. It's great to feel a part of a smaller community, but it's growing. It's growing.
It is. It's getting there.
It's always fun interacting with Hungry Boy as well on Saturday Night Star Trek. So it's an honor. I think this is our second time we've been able to chat over the air. So and I always love your input, and the experience that you bring to the channel. So, like I
Well,
said, an honor talking to all of you. So
Applause,
thank you.
applause. I applaud
exactly the
everyone.
honor. And thank you all y'all for being here. But you know what? With the way Tweety Bird's going one day, we may all have to send coded messages each other to set up StreamYard links, and we can talk like this. With thank God for StreamYard. But hey, but without you guys in the chat, y'all make it even better. Y'all make this really fun and worth doing, because y'all's insight, input, and feedback is just, y'all rock. Y'all show intelligence, and y'all are great. And just coming and laughing, and hopefully we made your day brighter too. And you made my day brighter, and with everybody here on the chat. So,
well, you made my night brighter.
yes, sorry. Well, I know I do that. So
You
we'll go
make
ahead.
the time we're together so much more pleasant.
Exactly. But
I'm
you
so
got to meet the
happy
missus. So
that-
Words and Pictures. No, Words and Pictures wants us to keep going. Hey, Words and Pictures, I promise that I'll get Hungry Boy and we'll do a special SpongeBob stream. Would you, if he's ready up for that? Okay.
Okay.
Damn it. We'll say damn it, Mark. We'll blame Mark for it. So, but
Damn it, SpongeBob.
Damn it, Mark.
yes. All right. Well, we got 11. The count's going up again, but let me stop there. Shut up so Hungry Boy can get to bed. But thank you all. Chat, all y'all are amazing. Guest here, JT, Mrs. Hungry, can't do it without you guys. Thank you for your support. Y'all keep me going. Y'all really do. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for being here and having fun and all that. So, yeah, I think Mexico did leave earlier. Sometimes people just drop out. So, oh, the German guys. I think they did. So we hadn't had German talked about for a while. And as we all do, we will say hashtag blame Castle is what we do around here. Another one of our channel mods and friends. So on that note, good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Have a great night. Good night, sleep, Hungry Boy, and catch you next time.
Sweet
Bye all.
dreams.